Thanksgiving Day game was canceled, whereas Franklin went ahead and played Morristown. As we pointed out earlier, under very tough field conditions. The Ocean Township coaching staff and football team were at the Morristown-Franklin game. Trying to preview that one-shoot offense. We ought to mention that after the defeat, the Ocean kids were a little bit boisterous in the stands. Some words were exchanged as the Franklin team players left. There are some emotions involved in this game today. Franklin's fired up. They feel they've got something to prove after the upset to Morristown. Ocean feels that they can get out here and do a job on what was one time a nationally ranked high school football team during the season.
Of course, Ocean plays in the Sure Conference B North along with Red Bank Catholic, the champion of that particular conference. And Matawan and Red Bank Ocean actually finished fourth in their conference. Franklin, of course, finished on the top in the Mid-State Conference, undefeated in Mid-State play. And there were some very fine teams in the Mid-State Conference. In the preliminary rounds, Franklin played Watchung the second time of the season. Watchung, a very good team, and Franklin easily handled them.
While we're talking about the Mid-State, let's switch. Coach Savage and the Bridgewater East Minutemen, maybe their final game from Bridgewater East. All the successes. They take on a tough Rumson team today in the Central Jersey Group 2 Championship.
In terms of the Mid-State Conference, I would have to say, of course, everyone expected Franklin to have a great season. No one really expected East to have that fine of a season. I think that was an outstanding effort on the part of the players and an outstanding job in terms of the coaches in preparing to play game after game. Yeah, okay, I don't mean to cut you off, Bob. In terms of getting ready to play, we're getting ready to play out on the field as Sure will line up to receive the kickoff.
Very interesting to see how Franklin's defense, which we pointed out earlier, had a very difficult time up in Morristown. See how quickly they react, shape up, and get back into the season form that they've had all along, giving up less than 7 points a game today.
Back deep, 81, Dan Frisch, along with number 7, running back Bob Lupo. They are two of the workhorses for the Sure Spartans, as O'Kang McBride will tee it up for Franklin, the extra point kicker and fine linebacker. We're ready for state championship action brought to you by SeaTech. The kick is a short kick, comes to one of the upmen at about the 35. He crosses to the 45 to about the 46-yard line. Sure going to start off with excellent field position.
Chris Shammy, number 84, is in on the stop for the Warriors. Ocean's going to put it in play somewhere about the 42-yard line. First and 10, right off the start of this Central Jersey Group 3 final.
At quarterback will be Doug Rossback, number 5. He'll be joined in the backfield by number 7, Bob Lupo, and running back Tony Esposito. Esposito, number 35. Number 10, Richter, shifts to the left. Rossback calling signals. Looks over the defense. Back shift. First down, the first play of the state championship game goes to one of the upback, 35, Esposito, and he stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Number 74, Rod Partner for the Warriors, in on the stop, really took the legs out from under the running back. We'll bring up a second down. Oh, probably a loss on that play. Puts it right back at the line of scrimmage. Second and 10, now they move it up second and 9.
We'll run down some of the Franklin players we expect to show prominently in the contest today as the opportunity presents itself. Right now, though, it's second down and about 9.5, I would say. Sure testing the middle of the Franklin line to start out. Richter shifts left. On the option goes Rossback, and he got nothing.
As we pointed out, Mike, Ocean likes to show a lot of multiple offenses. They'll get into sets, they'll shift before the ball snaps. Franklin's not having any of that right now. They're taking it right to the ball. It'll bring up a third down at about 9 yards once again as the Franklin defense in the center of that line shows how tough it can be.
Franklin players who will see much action today include number 1, Blair Wilson, number 2, Courtney Sutherland, 3, Chris Board, one of the tri-captains, 4, Jeff Frederick, the premier pass catcher, 5, Mark Jenkins, one of the scoring leaders. We'll also see number 12, of course, Louis Solomon. We'll see him on offense. He's the starting quarterback right now. We'll take a look at Ocean. Ocean faced with a third down and a long 9. Rossback drops the pass, slips. Now under pressure, just gets his pass away and has to throw it away in the sidelines as he was under a great deal of pressure.
Rossback really having his hands full, slipped a little bit going back on the turf. Probably a little bit loose, but not that bad. Jeff Batt just all over him. Ocean looking at the long, say 9 yards on fourth down. Franklin back to receive the punt. Number 4, number 5. You got Jenkins and the deadly Jeff Fredericks.
Both of those gentlemen very deadly. Jenkins has scored on a punt return, as the kick will come to Jenkins at the 25. Jenkins gets back to about the 30-yard line, where Franklin will put it in play, and we'll take a look at the ammunition in that run and shoot offense. And there's a lot of bullets in that gun, Bob.
John Sistone, number 40 for Ocean, puts the stop. Franklin will take it 1st and 10, as Mike pointed out. The ball's set at the just shy of the 30-yard line. We've only got 9:49. Check that in the first quarter. And Franklin's first offensive series starts right now.
Blair Wilson and Jeff Frederick to the left. Wilson now in motion. Solomon rolls that way. Pump fakes, looks, has time, fires over the middle, has his man complete to Jenkins. 5. Jenkins crosses to the 45-yard line, and a flag comes in.
Solomon just dropped straight back, hit Jenkins dead over the middle after a quick pump fake, and there's a flag on the play. It's going to go against the Warriors. Clipping, which is hard to believe because the only other man out there was Fredericks, and it doesn't look like he laid a hand on anybody, Michael.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bob, it may be a case of the officials wanting to take quick charge of this contest. They realize it's a heated game. I didn't actually see the clip, but that's why I'm in the booth.
Well, I don't mind the official taking charge as long as they make calls that make sense.
We'll take a look at here, Bob.
Once again, we'll take a look at it. You can see number 1, Sutherland in motion. Solomon pump fakes once and then dumps it right over the middle. And I still haven't seen the clip. There it is right there. They made a good call. 81. Ocean was hit from behind.
Frederick, number 4, hit 81 from behind. Good call by the official.
Jeff Frederick just got a piece of him.
Blair Wilson in motion. Solomon rolls to his left. Under pressure, and he's sacked.
A monster pass rush by Ocean put Louis Solomon right on the ground.
Steve O'Hagan on the spot, number 75, with help from, I believe, 63.
You know, Mike, when you watch the run and shoot, and people talk about how you defense it, actually, if you've got 2 quick defensive ends that can get the angle and get in and put the heat on Solomon, it can really disrupt this offense. What Franklin will have to do to counter that is show some draw plays up the middle. Chris Boyd or possibly Mark Jenkins on a counter.
O'Hagan and Pete Hummer on the sack, as Wilson again in motion to the right. Warriors in blue and gold. The handoff goes to Boyd. Chris Boyd picks up 10, but he'll be short of the first down by 5.
As we pointed out, the only way to negate that big rush from Ocean is to use the backs up the middle. Boyd with a nice run, unfortunately, had a long way to go. It's about a 3rd and 5.
A moment ago, you saw 52 Dion Ballum and 71 Cornelius Whitaker for the Franklin Warriors, trying to run down some of those other offensive linemen. 74 Rod Parker, 79 Dave Sanders, as Solomon faced with a 3rd down. Jenkins motions to the bottom of your screen. Handoff again to Boyd. Boyd has running room. Boyd across the middle. He can go all the way. Chris Boyd at the 30, at the 20. Chris Boyd just tripped up on the shoestrings at the 5-yard line. A saving tackle by number 10.
Number 81, Danny Frisch, made the stop on Boyd just inside the 5-yard line. And as we said, when you can't negate that offensive speed on the outside defensively, you got to take it up the gut, and that's exactly what Chris Boyd will do for you here on the replay. Very simple handoff. Excellent blocking on the right side of the Franklin line. And Boyd is off to the races, except for Frisch, unfortunately, who catches him right at the 6-yard line.
Franklin at 7:33 the first period, quickly knocking at the door after the run by Chris Boyd. Louis Solomon on the roll, sets up, looks. Still with the ball, still looking, pump faking, trying to find his way into the end zone, and he does.
Solomon really looked indecisive on that rollout to the left side, was trying to find a receiver. A lot of critics of the run and shoot do not like the fact that the Franklin Warriors look to pass inside the 15 to the 20. Solomon once again, though, has the foot speed to put it in the end zone. We'll take a look at it one more time, and you watch Louis Solomon as he tries to figure out just what he wants to do. And there's the answer. 6 points. Franklin's up. 7:20 in the first quarter.
Important extra point here, as Franklin had some difficulty 2 weeks ago. Okang McBride will do the kicking. It'll be held by Jamal Wade, and now we have a timeout for the Franklin Warriors. Franklin striking really quickly, Bob. We talked about the run and shoot, but the thing that a lot of opponents overlook in terms of Franklin Township, as you take a look at the Franklin sidelines coach Charlie Weiss, is that Franklin has an excellent running back in number 3, Chris Boyd.
Actually, Mike, what happens is with the defense to run and shoot, a lot of clubs will try to take away the passing game. And when they do that, they basically go with 2 or 3 down linemen, and you're ending up with a lot of secondary coverage. When Franklin line gets those blocks on those 2 or 3 down linemen, Franklin's got the speed to take it anywhere they want to, and that's exactly what happened. Ocean now has to be conscious of the running game.
And when you become conscious of the running game, that opens it up for the short pass, which Franklin has excelled at all season.
It's called the Smurf attack, and it happens so quickly. Little timeout still on the field. The officials are having a discussion. You saw assistant coach Joe Stinson out there, the offensive coordinator, who's done a great job in installing the run and shoot here. And you know what's interesting, Mike? Franklin's been so devastating. They say it takes about 2 years to really learn the offense.
We talked a little earlier, Bob, as we came out here. I mentioned to you a bit off camera how Ocean, the Spartans, were really making a lot of noise. That quick score kind of took the wind out of the sails just a bit.
Well, Franklin's goal is to get out there and put it on the board as quickly as possible. Psychologically, you're absolutely right. It takes a lot out of Ocean.
McBride attempting, Wade holding, kick, a low kick, knocked away. So Franklin will stay out in front by a 6-0 margin as we have a Franklin player down on the field.
As you pointed out, Mike, Franklin's had some trouble with extra points lately, and if you watch the snap, it's a good set. O'Kane's just doesn't follow through on the kick. The ball goes dead into the line, and it ends up 6-0. Here in a very cold, gray Somerset this afternoon. Crowd size has picked up nicely on the home side, and I got to tell you, for the trip that Ocean has to make to get up here, they've done very well with crowd support. We should also mention that the Pep and Booster clubs have done a nice job in decorating the field for today's game.
Big game. Franklin, of course, looking to recapture the Central Jersey Group 3 title. Last year, lost it to Matawan. Ocean knocked off Matawan twice during the season, so that tells you what kind of team they are. Once in regular season and once in the playoffs. McBride will tee it up again. Back deep, 81 Frisch. And 7 Lupo. This time the kick is a deeper kick. It'll come down to Frisch, 81 at the 25. Looking for running room on the sidelines. Has a bit of open space. Scoots to about the 30-yard line where he's quickly brought down.
Frisch tried to break it to the left side. Had some blocking momentarily. No containment right away, but then Franklin recovered. Made a nice tackle.
Chris Shammy, 84, one of the people on the spot for Franklin. Franklin Warriors in the gold helmets, blue jerseys, gold pants. Ocean in the red pants and the white jersey.
I know this is going to sound crazy because we're still in the first quarter with 7:13 to go, but in some sense, Mike, this is a very critical drive, opening our offensive series for the Ocean Spartans right now.
I think it's an important series in terms of the Franklin defense. If they can hold here, they can regain some of that confidence that they may have lost a week ago. As Ross back in trouble, looking to pass, knocked away at the last second by number 22, Esco Wilson. Ball intended for 35, Tony Esposito, and that was a good job by Wilson, Bob.
Absolutely. It looked like there was a little foul up in the Ocean backfield on that, but Rossback was able to roll, delivered a nice ball. It was well thrown, but Esco Wilson, as you pointed out, came out of nowhere to tip it away. It'll bring up 2nd and 10 for Ocean.
Franklin players we expect to see in action today. We mentioned O'Kane McBride, the kicker, also a linebacker, 44 Rod Blum, 50 Ricky Schwartz, 51 Jason Ganella. As Ross back again, the pass sets up under pressure, launches a rocket down the sideline into double coverage, and a reception is made. Frisch, 81, stays on his feet, and we're in the end zone. Unbelievable. I want to see that one on replay. Check it. It is 81. Dan Frisch, and he is the All-Shore Conference receiver, and that was an outstanding job.
There is a penalty on the play, Mike. There's an official at about the 42-yard line. He's got a flag down there. We don't know quite what it is yet. And they're going to...
It's good. It was against Franklin.
It was against Franklin. Offensive interference. And I'll tell you what, the two defenders for Franklin, One plays the ball, one plays the man, and neither one come up with the stopper.
Here it is here as he drops back, Bob.
What a rocket. He fires this one way out there. Frisch just takes it in stride. And unfortunately for Franklin, Courtney Sutherland could not make the play. And so that quickly, 6:56 to go in the first, Ocean has a chance to take the lead.
6-6 to score. Very important extra point here. Down, the kick is up, and it looks good, and it is. And Ocean jumps out to a 7-6 lead.
And we just got through saying what an important series this was for Ocean. And apparently they didn't seem too phased by that touchdown they gave up, as Rosbach connects with Fish on a humongous touchdown. And the Franklin Warriors aren't bouncing off the field this time with a lot of enthusiasm.
Quite frankly, Bob, very surprised. I've covered Franklin most of this season. I've seen them a number of times. First time I think I've ever seen anyone go long and complete a pass all season. I didn't see the Morristown game, but that's something you just don't see. Franklin really has those burners. They have people who can really run. To see somebody go deep on them and make it look easy, as Rosbach and Frisch did on that pass, absolutely astounds me.
Well, you got to point out one thing, though, Mike, that Frisch has a size advantage in height over the defenders from Franklin. That ball was dead on the money, had to be in the air at least 45, 50 yards. He took it in full stride, and that's one of the disadvantages when you play those players in the secondary that are 5'5", 5'4". You're going to give up something eventually.
As we take a look at the Franklin Warriors now set back to receive the kickoff. Frederick and Jenkins are the deep men. Warriors down 7-6 here early, going 6:56 first period action at Ackerman Field. Game brought to you by SeaTech, and they kick it away from the deep backs, but it'll go to Frederick anyway. Frederick about the 20, looking for running room to the middle. Here's the man to beat, some room on the sideline, stays on his feet, still going. Jeff Frederick down the sideline, run out of bounds by number 81. Dan Frisch, who made the touchdown catch a minute ago, and that was a saving push out of bounds.
It sure was. Frisch barely got up to him in time to get a hand on him and shove him out of bounds. So it looks like it's speed versus speed so far in this first quarter of the Central Jersey Group 3 Championship from Somerset, New Jersey.
Bob, we'll take a look at it on replay here.
This ball attempted by Ocean to keep it down low so they wouldn't get a big return on it. Frederick just takes it to the middle, looks for some blocking, gets a nice pickoff block by Mark Jenkins, and then it's off to the races as Frisch, you can see him, 81, just gets a handoff.
Quickly back to live action. Louis Solomon tries to hand off to Chris Boyd. A bit of a difficult handoff there as Boyd slips to the turf. The tackle on the play, number 63, Pete Hummer, who had the sack of Solomon earlier.
Once again, you know, we saw Ocean have some problem getting their footing in the backfield. Chris Boyd stumbles there. There are probably spots on the field, Mike, that just don't hold very well. And those would be the spots where on the screen you can see there is no grass.
Franklin loses a yard on that particular play. Second down and 11. Solomon to pass, rolling Boyd out in front, blocking, fires, it's picked off by Ocean. Ball returned to the 45-yard line, maybe the 46. Difficult series of downs here for Franklin, Bob.
On a replay, which is coming up right about now. And 1, and 2, there we go. Louis Solomon rolls out to his right, doesn't even pump fake, throws it right into the hands of 35 for Ocean.
Esposito.
And that's Esposito. And he just returns it right to the sideline. And we talk about swings and emotion and momentum. All of a sudden, all the momentum's headed inside of the Ocean end zone.
81, Dan Frisch, who caught the touchdown pass earlier, comes wide right at the bottom of your screen. Esposito and Lupo, the backs on the option. Rosbach looking for the pitch to Lupo and loses the handle. Franklin will have it.
Sanders right on top of the loose ball as Lupo takes a shot in the backfield, and momentum swings again. And I'll tell you, Mike, this is going to be a much better game than maybe anybody thought.
Take a look here, Bob.
Rosbach tries to get it to Lupo, can't. Sanders just drops right on it.
And 50, Ricky Schwartz is the man who made the big play on defense.
Ricky Schwartz, Rodney Blum, 44 for the Warriors, have been terrors on those outside defensive positions for the Warriors.
Speedster Jeff Frederick, number 4, comes wide left as Wilson goes in motion right. Solomon, Boyd trailing, a bad pitch Boyd lucky to handle it, and he is nailed by number 5, Rossback, the quarterback.
I'll tell you what, it was a miracle that Boyd was able to handle that ball, because had he missed it, it would have been possibly a big run back for Ocean. We'll take the replay once again. Solomon just jockeying off the corner, does the pitch. Boyd with an outstanding one-hand snag saves the day for Franklin on that play.
Franklin's offense stymied here. 2nd down and 10 to go. Solomon long count rolls, sets up looking to pass over the middle to Frederick, and a very dangerous pass.
Well, you might sit back and say Franklin had so much success in that first series running the ball. Why haven't they done that again? Well, you got to remember, in the run and shoot, 70% of the time at least that ball's going to be up in the air, and Franklin's not about to change that right now.
Bob, I'm not certain. We've had, what, 1 completion, I think, for Franklin, is all we've seen thus far. As Frederick, the intended receiver, that time brings up a 3rd down and 11. Solomon to Chris Boyd, looking for running room on the sidelines, finds very little, squirms ahead maybe 3 yards.
24, Alfie Garasso, makes the stop.
51, Jason Ganella out leading the blocking, the center and tri-captain. I was going to say earlier, Bob, we always talk about these big matchups. I went down a whole list of games that were great matchups we were supposed to cover over the years that never materialized into great games. Thus far today, a big surprise here. This is turning into a great game. On the snap, it's a fake punt, and it goes to number 20 for Franklin. And I'll tell you, we had the 1st down and plenty.
Well, there's a flag on the play. Bryant was on the carry. It's going to be interesting to see. They're all in the backfield, and it's got to be procedure against Franklin, which it is. That'll negate that run.
Doug Bryant on the fake punt takes the direct snap from Ganella, rumbles for a 1st down, but the flag will just negate the gain.
Unfortunate for Franklin, because it was a monster gainer by Bryant, who's got tremendous speed. We ought to point out, while you see the replay on this fake kick, you ought to keep in mind that Doug Bryant, number 20, is only a sophomore. And you can see Bryant just has tremendous speed, all for nothing. And Ocean calls a timeout back on the field, as Franklin's looking at a 4th and 11 with about 4:18 to go. Ocean on top, 7-6.
This contest brought to you exclusively in Somerset and Hunterdon County by C-Tech Cable, as we take a look at the Franklin sidelines. Sam Hooper, one of the coaches on the sideline, also the head wrestling coach.
While there's a timeout on the field, we can run down the coaching staff for Franklin. Head coach Charlie Weiss in his 1st season, who's brought the Warriors to their 3rd consecutive appearance in the Central Jersey Group 3 Championship, assisted by Randy Daniel, Joe Fosco, Al Heading, Sam Hooper, Rich Sapala, and the offensive coordinator, Joe Stinson. And the trainer for Franklin is Christine Lynn. And why not continue? Time is still out. Let's talk about the managers from Franklin. Gail Arrington, Deborah Francis, Tricia Gladden, and Nicole McMillan. And those handy-dandy statisticians, Vanessa Jones and Kimberly Riemann.
Of course, Vanessa Jones, the fine cross-country runner. As Franklin faced with a 4th and 11, Solomon backpedals, looks, lots and lots of time, finds a man, and we're going to have an interference.
Oh, there are flags all over the field. We've got one over here, one over there.
Lupo, I believe, is going to be called for interference, number 7 against 5, Mark Jenkins.
I'll tell you, Mike, that was in front of the universe. It was a one-on-one play, obviously interference on the part of Ocean. And I'll tell you, it's a pretty heady call for Franklin to make with a 4th and 11, given Ocean's striking potential as we've seen in this 1st quarter. Gutsy call.
I was just going to say, you took the words right out of my mouth early going. I think Charlie Weiss feels that his team needs to reestablish that momentum. We've had a quick-paced game. Now things are slowing down a little bit. Sometimes that detracts from your concentration in terms of the players. Let's see what happens here.
As we called it, it's defensive interference against Ocean. They're moving to 6 right now. Franklin has the ball at about the 30-yard line, just short of there. 4:11 to go. Ocean on top, 7-6. It is so far. Well played, Central Jersey Group 3 State Championship.
Solomon on the fake, rolls to his left. He's going to keep looking for daylight, scoots back to the middle, keeps his feet. Nice swerve move as he gets the ball down to the 15-yard line, maybe the 14.
No hesitation on Louis Solomon's part that time. He took a quick look at the pass, didn't have it, did the absolutely nifty running to pick up the first down. And as to watch on this one, Solomon will roll out to the left, really doesn't show pass at all. Tucks it up, cuts on behind Dave Sanders, 79, spins off one tackle, gets Franklin a first down.
Back to live action, Solomon. This time goes to Wilson. Wilson weaving his way into the end zone. Franklin back out in front now, 12-7.
Michael, that play had touchdown all the way right after the handoff. An outstanding block back in to give Wilson all the room he needed on the right-hand side. I believe it was thrown by Jeff Fredericks, number 4. You can see Louis Solomon right over to the sideline. Here's a big play. Look at the block that was thrown there. It was possibly the 227. We can't get the whole number. But that made the play go all the way.
Heat Hummer 63 had a shot in the backfield. Came up empty as Wilson scores. Franklin now leads it 12-7, and they'll go for 2. Wilson goes in motion right. Louis Solomon looking on the outside. He can go in. Franklin nets it 2, and they'll make it 14-7. Making up the deficit of the extra point on the first touchdown.
Well, you take a look at the Franklin stands, and they're obviously very happy about this sort of event. Franklin capitalizing, doing a great job after that fumble by Ocean at about the 42-yard line. Trying to run the fade kick. That fell back on a procedure penalty. On a 4th and 11, they go long over the right-hand side. Franklin's speed once again showing exactly how quickly the Warriors can be so dangerous.
Well, I think the point here also, Franklin, in terms of his players can really spread out the scoring. Jenkins can score, Louis Solomon, we've seen Wilson. So they have a lot of dangerous people in terms of offense. I'm not so sure that Ocean can compare them.
Exactly. Coach Johnson from Ocean, when asked about the same, said that Franklin has probably more athletic ability spread out over more games than he's seen all year. Okay, McBride to do the kickoff for Warriors.
Christian Lupo deep. They'll come down to first to score the touchdown. Rich looking for running room. Zeroed in and set.
Great contained by Franklin on that play is number 84 for the Warriors. Nails Christian, that's Chris Shammy, and he's had a great game so far.
Second big tackle on the special team for Shammy.
2 outstanding tackles, as Mike points out, on special teams. And special teams can be very, very important in this game.
Ocean will put the ball in play about the 19-yard line with 3:32 to go here in this first period of action. Mike Glass along with Bob Pearson. Bob Pearson, of course, my old partner, something from my new partner, Len River, too. I'm sure his spirit is here. I'd love to be here, but he's speaking at an engagement for the New Jersey Nets this afternoon.
I just want to say, Mike, Lenny's done a great job working with you this year. He's in all the games. He's doing a terrific job. C-Tex once again, leading the field of high school sports coverage in Central Jersey.
You know us, Field and Stream. Okay, let's see what Ocean will do here. Doug Rossack, number 5, the senior signal ball. The short drop heads up, goes to British again. And he's a tough man to bring down.
I'll tell you what, it took 3 Franklin Warriors to make the official hit. He had first closest up the sidelines to get him out. But for a lanky, tall receiver, he's a load of trouble when he gets his hands on the ball.
22 Esco Wilson on the spot. He does it out of bounds. Let's take a look at 24 for Ocean. Elsie Durasso.
We should point out that first, obviously, is Rossack's favorite receiver. He's caught 5 touchdowns this season, making 6 with an 8 game.
He's a big target. Second down and 5 with the spark. Warriors out in front, 14-7. Rossack throws, has his man, complete to 7. Lupo knocked out of bounds by number 22, Esco Wilson. And Esco Wilson has been busy on that.
Yes, he has. Franklin's secondary seen a lot more action than we're used to. Really have to watch the receivers from Ocean because Rossack's got a rifle. He can throw the ball.
Also quite impressed with the Spartans' offensive line. Franklin, in the games I've seen all season, devastating pass rush, and Rossack really had some time to throw here this last 2 times.
Well, on the other side of the coin, like Rossack doesn't look like a straight drop back passer. He just has a tendency to roll, which buys him a few extra seconds.
Rich there shifts to the left. Esposito and Lupo, the backs, and one of them slipped, looks like a fumble.
Yes.
Franklin says they have anything to do.
Little miscue on the handoff again. That's the second time that's been so costly to Ocean inside their own Oh, let's check it about the 31-yard line right now. And Franklin, an opportunity knocks again for the Warriors. Watch Ross back as he spins. Ball never really put right in the gut. Franklin right on top of it as always.
I think Bobby touched on it earlier. The portions of the field that are muddy and slippery. Esposito was going to get the ball. He slipped and knocked it out of his hands. And take a look at Charlie Weiss on the sidelines. Head Franklin coach. I will go back to the field. Louis Solomon, City Junior signal caller for the Warriors. Waits for Wilson to pass. Heads up. Launches one for Frederick. He's open. Oh, in his hands and out.
Outstanding defense that time by Ocean, number 24, right on top of it. And I'll tell you, that was a well-thrown ball. Absolutely no doubt in my mind that it was going to be close to the touch.
24, Alfie Grosso.
And you got to point out, Mike Solomon had all the time in the world to find the receiver there.
Good blocking up front by 71 Cornelius Whitaker, 54 Rod Parker, Dave Sanders, Jason Canella.
Ocean's throwing two down on the down.
Let's see what happens here. Second down, 10 Warriors ball. Spartan territory. Ball spotted at the 30-yard line. Jay over as Solomon rolls to the left. Pitches back to Boyd. Boyd looking for running room. Good job by Boyd. He slips in that slippery part of the field. That's the second ball we've seen it. That part must be really slick.
I'll tell you what, Boyd did a remarkable job not to take a loss on that. The pitch wasn't well concealed. Ocean had two defensive linemen just hanging in the area where Boyd wanted to go. Get a nice cutback, then lost his footing. Nice game by Boyd, though. We have a third and about 7.
1:51 to go here in the first period at Ackerman Field. This time to fake to Wilson. Solomon on the keeper, pushes his blockers in front, stays behind. Big number 79, Dave Sanders, and rumbles inside the 15-yard line to about the 14.
Once again, Solomon doesn't show blinding speed, hangs right in behind Sanders. You could park a truck behind Sanders in most cases, not see it. And Solomon's no fool. He just hangs on to that 7-9er and goes down the field.
That's kind of like the Concorde towing a glider behind. Or a jumbo jet.
Smart and nifty running by Louis Solomon.
First down, Franklin goes to Chris Boyd. 3 spins away from one tackle. Then he's surrounded by a group of white shirts and just knocked to the turf after a short gain.
I'll tell you what, though, if you take a look at, we can't see it on the screen right now, but Courtney Sutherland, number 2 for Franklin, was wide open in the right-hand corner of the end zone, and I'm sure that the message will come back to Louis Solomon on the next down.
Solomon, second down, goes to Wilson on a play that scored earlier. Wilson picking his way through white shirts, finding room across the 5, inside the 5, down to about the 3.
Ocean showed good penetration on that play, Mike. That's why Wilson wasn't able to take it all the way to the right side corner. They didn't get that block back to spring him free, but then Wilson showed what a heady runner he is. He just turns it up against the grain, gets it inside the 5-yard line, possibly a first down, as we're going to take a timeout for measurement right here.
Canella, Ballum, and Whitaker all out in front, throwing good blocks. Good work by the Franklin offensive line. As you take a look at big number 79, Dave Sanders. Under a minute to go here in the first period. Franklin knocking at the door as we scoot to the stand.
Franklin gets a first down. They're inside the 5-yard line with 57 seconds to go in the first quarter. And looking to go up at least 20-7 before this quarter wraps out.
Looking to add to their lead, 14-7. Franklin scored first.
And will Solomon pass, or will they run the ball?
Solomon on the drop back, sets up, looks, fires to the corner for Frederick. Couldn't get there.
And once again, nobody wants to question the head coach or the offensive coordinator, but when you're inside that close, with the kind of day you have, with the weather being the way it is, so cold, you got to wonder why they can't run the ball and get that ball in there. At least why they don't prefer to do it, Mike.
Well, they have 3 more downs to do it. I'm sure we're going to see Chris Boyd on either this next play or the one after.
In all likelihood, you'll see Solomon on a rollout, and he may end up keeping it and walking it in himself.
Solomon on the roll to the left. Lots of room. Stumbles short of the goal line. Ball will be spotted about the 1. Tackled there by 35. Tony Esposito. Franklin Rooters urging their team on.
Franklin bench getting a little more excited, cheering the O on. Boyd the superback deep.
And the Handoff goes to Boyd, who crashes in for the touchdown, but a flag flies.
It doesn't look like procedure on Franklin. If it does, they're going to call it back.
Franklin doesn't look happy.
Holding.
We have offensive holding. 12 seconds remaining here in this first period of action. Mike Pulaski along with Bob Pearson and the C-Tech High School sports crew. 14-7 the score. Franklin out in front.
That's a tough call to make. It had to be on one of the outside men because I don't know how an official can make a holding call inside that line situation. Not up the middle. But Franklin will lose yardage. It'll be third down. The ball will be set at about the 16-yard line. Check that. About the 12. And Franklin still has two whacks with very little time left to go in the first quarter, 12 seconds to be exact.
Well, maybe we'll see Esco Wilson on the play. That's worked well for them twice before. Let's see what happens here. Short straight drop back by Solomon. Now under pressure. Louis goes down. Good defensive effort there by number 53.
53, Chris D'Ambrosio in on the play for Ocean. Solomon couldn't find a receiver. Excellent secondary coverage by Ocean that time.
And that is the end of the first period with the Franklin Warriors out in front by the score of 14-7. We'll take this short break. Solomon on fourth down, has time now, under pressure, flush from the pocket, looking for room, has space on the sidelines, keeps his feet, gets to the 10-yard line where he's knocked out of bounds.
Difficult to say where he ended up going out. Around the 10, you're right, they got it marked right on it now.
There you see Louis Solomon on the sidelines, not happy about that last effort. Defense has played fairly well for the Ocean Spartans here, Bob.
They sure have. Solomon's had a hard time picking out receivers. Had to do a lot of dancing and unfortunately couldn't pick up the necessary yardage, which virtually was inside about the 2 to 3 to get the first down. There was no first down availability. He had to score, actually. So Ocean's going to take over. The ball set at the 10-yard line.
This should be an interesting drive for the Spartans. This could be the situation where the defense will take charge of the offense. Let's see what happens here. Spartans earlier went with a big pass from Rossback to Frisch. This time they hand off inside. I think the ball carrier is Steven Lupo. We'll check it.
Okay.
It is.
O'Kane McBride, 33 out of the linebacker spot, right on top of Lupo. Ocean has had no success between the tackles so far.
Quite frankly, they've had a difficult time getting the ball handed off inside. Their backs have been slipping. Esposito's had trouble. They've had some fumbles. Their success has come on the passing of Rossback, especially to number 81, Frisch.
Well, Franklin's defense has created many opportunities so far in this game, and it's maybe up to them to create another one here.
Ball inside. This time they look to the corner for running room. They don't find very much.
They tried to take it over the right-hand side. That's Ricky Schwartz territory. Schwartz would have no part about it. Shoved it back inside. And they'll bring up a third down situation. Ocean's looking for about 8.5 yards to get a first.
I believe it's, yep, about 8.5. You're right. I'll trust your eyes on this one.
About 8 3/4, actually.
Gee, it's actually getting warm and comfortable here as I'm watching my breath go by. A chilly day here at Ackerman Field,
and you're the governor-elect. Here's a timeout on the field. Equipment, I guess. Rossback seems to have a problem with the hip pad, possibly.
Strangely enough, Bob, a game that started out with a lot of noise and a lot of hoopla between the players and shouting, it's quieted down. There's almost a lull in the stadium here at this time.
Well, you know, you get down to business, and the cold weather obviously is going to inhibit a lot of talking from the stands, screaming from the stands. People just trying to keep warm right now.
10:35, second period action. 14-7 Warriors out in front. 8 yards to go for the Spartans. Rossback on the roll, looking to fire one up for his man. This time it's knocked away, intended for Frisch. I believe Esco Wilson
Number 4, Jeff, I think it was Jeff Frederick actually got a hand on that cutting across. Wilson was in to make the tackle if the pass had been complete. But the Franklin defense does the job. They're going to have to turn it over deep in their own territory. And this is where you got to watch out for number 4 and number 5 because they could take it right on in.
Sutherland also back in the coverage as Jenkins and Frederick go back to about the 45.
You're looking at Jeff Frederick, the second leading scorer in Somerset County.
It'll come to Jenkins, who fakes the reverse. Jenkins backpedaling, and he'll be knocked down, losing about 6 yards as he backpedals to the 48-yard line.
Chris Tochi for the Ocean Spartans makes the tackle. We've got a flag on the play. In all probability, it's going to go against the Warriors for a clip.
A situation where Franklin probably should have got the ball across the 50, and they're going to be backed up.
Still waiting for the official signal on this. It's actually, it looks like it may have been a late hit. It looks like they're calling an unsportsmanlike penalty. Personal foul against the Warriors. So they'll mark it off from there. And Franklin, which had tremendous field position, potentially ends up with lousy field position actually.
An excellent played first period of high school football. All kinds of excitement. You saw it all happen. Now the game is kind of slowed down here just a bit.
But it has been a well-played game so far. I mean, there's been some
few penalties
on either side. There's the turf, obviously, in spots has not helped either team.
Of course, Franklin has had kind of the worst of the penalties. Had excellent field position in terms of scoring. They got backed up on a holding call, and now they had great field position on the turnover, and they're backed up again. Let's see if they can turn things around here.
You got to be sure Charlie Weiss is not happy about those missed opportunities because we can see how quickly Ocean can strike. I'm sure he would have liked the score to be 21-7 at least at this point.
Slight breeze blowing across the field, cold day as Wilson goes and motions at the bottom of your screen. You take a good look at number 12, Louis Solomon on the long count. Solomon goes with the handoff to Chris Boyd, and Boyd maybe loses a yard or two.
Now, Boyd didn't get a good start on that ball at all. 53 was in for Ocean to make the stop. We've called the number a couple times. That's Chris D'Ambrosi. Boyd just never got ahead of steam, kind of stutter-stepped, and D'Ambrosi laid him out.
Ocean has played very well defensively in terms of defense of the Franklin run and shoot. Of course, the cold day is kind of nullifying the effectiveness of that run and shoot offense also. Let's see what Louis Solomon will do here. Second down and 10. Fakes the handoff to Boyd. He's going to be lucky to elude those tacklers in the sack. Still on his feet, gets on the corner, picks up yardage. Louis Solomon still moving, has close to a first down as the markers are way downfield in terms of it was second in a continent to go. But Solomon turned something negative into something positive.
Yeah, Solomon showed that time that he does have some great foot speed as he got to the outside and ran right up the sideline. I do believe he picked up the first down. Oh, check that. He was pushed out. Much well. He's got 9 yards to go here on 3rd and 9. When they abandoned those markers, I lost the point of reference as to which marker was which.
They were really backed up. I did also. As Solomon, this time on the quarterback draw, and the flag flies. Louis has the first down, but I think it's going to be called back.
I don't see a flag on the play.
I thought I saw a flag go, but I could be wrong.
No, it's going to be a first down. Those sticks are moving. Franklin once again now on the move with the ground game as opposed to putting it up in the air. And Louis Solomon is by far the leading yardage gainer in this game as far as putting your feet up and down up the field.
Well, it'll be close. Chris Boyd had that big run early in the beginning to set up that first touchdown for about 40, 50 yards.
That's right. How quickly we forget.
Solomon, however, has kept the ball on the ground, and he is a threat in terms of running the ball. Has, I think, 8 running touchdowns rushing this season.
Well, as we pointed out earlier, Ocean, in trying to take away the passing game, is going with 2 and 3 down linemen, and it doesn't take a football genius to figure out 7 men on the line can pretty much handle 3 people on the defensive side of the ball. Franklin's got enough foot speed that once they get in the secondary, at a minimum, they're going to pick up 5 yards. And you can see Charlie Weiss walking down the line, talking to his assistant coaches, obviously trying to straighten something out with one of the players who came out of the game.
Charlie, who usually shows up in the jacket and
tie,
has opted for the cold weather gear today.
Yeah, Charlie, you get arrested by the fashion police today. He definitely is not his usual dapper self on the sideline.
There you see the tail of the scoreboard. Franklin out in front, 14-7. Louis Solomon scored a 2-point conversion. Also scored a first period touchdown after the big run by Chris Boyd. Ocean came right back on the pass from Ross back to Frisch. Then Wilson, number 1, scored for Franklin, and that made it 14-7.
Well, I'll tell you, Mike, the camera work's been outstanding. Really, it's been a while since I've sat and watched the game from this perspective. But the camera crew's done an outstanding job today.
Only problem, open press box, is my teeth start to chatter a bit, so we're sitting out here in the cold just with the rest of the fans. As the handoff goes to Jenkins, number 5, Jenkins slips to the turf, and that's his first carry of the afternoon from the slot back position, or the wing.
53 made the stop for the Ocean Spartans, and once again, we called his number quite a few times. That's Chris D'Ambrosi. Franklin really outweighs this Ocean Township team considerably.
Second down, about 6 for the first for the Franklin Warriors, as I have to peek around the post here in the press box. Solomon rolls right, fires to 5 Jenkins, and there was an indication of the cold weather on the field.
Yeah, you don't see many Franklin receivers drop the ball, and I think it's probably the cold weather plus the fact that I think Jenkins was trying to make the turn as he caught the ball and just lost his concentration to some degree. And we've seen the Franklin receivers make some tremendous catches over the middle, which is tough for a high school football player. It'll bring up 3rd and about 6. 8:21 to go in the second quarter. Warriors on top, 14-7 over a very tough Ocean Township team.
Fake to Jenkins. Solomon keeps, has lots of room. One man to get by. Number 5, Ross, back and scoots ahead for another 4 yards. Quarterback against quarterback there. Kind of unusual in terms of sure, though, Bob. We see their quarterback, number 5, Doug Ross, back. Usually you see a quarterback will maybe play in the secondary, but he's playing linebacker.
He's a junior. He's an underclassman, so I guess the coach feels he's young enough and maybe doesn't know enough about football to play both positions. I don't know.
You don't see many quarterbacks doubling at linebacker.
No.
Okay, hand off to Boyd in the middle. Boyd is just racked up by a wall of white.
63 and on a stop for Ocean. That's Pete Hoomer. And I'll tell you what, they spelled that one out real quick. Boyd got nowhere on that up the middle flag.
That'll bring up a second down. Long 8.
And I would say Ocean's starting to cheat a little bit, Mike. They're starting to come up and play the run, and so look for the pass into the zone this time.
Yeah, the linebackers are playing a little tighter here. Not so loose. Quick pass over the middle to Jenkins. Jenkins eludes one tackler, spins into another, but picks up about 6 yards.
Quick dump pass by Louis Solomon over the middle. Jenkins had enough running room to get the motor started, but a nice tackle. May be short of the first down. Looks like they may want to measure it.
Less than a yard. Not close enough for a measurement, though, I don't believe.
Right,
but yes, they will bring it out. How many times are you going to correct me here today, Mr. Pearson? On your return trip back.
My prescription's newer than yours, obviously. Oh, about a half a foot.
Oh, close. Close but no cigar.
So Franklin's looking at 3rd and extremely short yardage. Plenty of time here in the second quarter. Franklin on top, 14-7. 7:20 to go in the Central Jersey Group 3 Championship from George L. Ackerman Field in Somerset, New Jersey.
Louis Solomon, the junior signal caller, on the sneak for the first down.
Nothing fancy there. Franklin just wanted to get that first down. Now they've got 4 to work from out. Let's see where they set it up, but it should be just outside the 10-yard line. Conceivably, Franklin can get a first down without scoring yet, but I think Charlie Weiss would prefer to get the touch.
First down, Franklin Warriors. Boyd on the carry, looking for running room behind big number 79, Dave Sanders. Finds a bit, it scoots ahead for maybe a yard or two. Make it 3.
Mike, as you pointed out earlier, Boyd had a tremendous run in the first quarter, but he's paid for the yardage very much so. From that point on, he's getting banged up going up the middle. Chris, good ball carrier, though, hasn't turned the ball over.
Boyd had over 100 yards rushing against Morristown. And Franklin's Thanksgiving Day loss as the handoff goes to Jenkins. Jenkins on the corner with room. He'll score. Oh, we're going to get a clip call against number 4, Jeff Frederick.
Well, the coaches for the box here for Franklin say, I can't believe it.
You could see it coming, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
As we'll see it on the replay. Frederick was out there, number 4, just waiting one man to beat 24, and he got a piece of his back, I think.
Yeah. You got to watch, though, and see on this.
Watch on the corner here.
It's a tough call because whether 24 turned
there
or not.
It is.
Oh, no.
Close, I'll tell you.
I'll tell you what. That was a tough call against Franklin. Tough call against Franklin. 24 definitely was not turned against Jeff Frederick. Looked like a clean block from up here on the replay. You be the judge. You saw it.
Yeah, while they're sorting it out, if we had an opportunity, well, no, we won't get a chance to look at it again. But I'll tell you that's not really a good call.
All right, Franklin looking at, second down at about 17, 18 yards right after that penalty.
The fake to Jenkins. The pass knocked down in front. Good defensive work there by number 53 again.
Once again, Chris Ambrosi, we've called his name many, many times. He's having an outstanding game for the Ocean Spartans. Tipped that Solomon pass away. It'll bring up a third down at about 17 for Franklin.
Penalties have really hurt Franklin down deep.
Yeah, they've been inside the 20 a couple occasions, Mike. I know Charlie Weiss can't be happy that they've come away empty because if you take the opportunities they had and the missed opportunities, Franklin could possibly have at least 2 more touches on the board.
Actually, 2 very tough calls.
Right.
Holding and that last clip. Let's see what happens here as Wilson in motion right. Solomon under pressure. He'll go down.
Big rush by number 75 for Ocean. That's Steve O'Hagan right on top of Solomon. Didn't have a chance.
That's O'Hagan's second sack of the afternoon.
And O'Hagan's not a big kid either. He's 6 foot, 203-pound tackle, and he really gets in there.
It'll be 4th down and 25, and they send the entire company of receivers to the right, and they're going to throw back, looking to isolate over the middle. Complete to number 4, Frederick. Frederick comes to the opposite side of the field, still on his feet. Knocked down inside the 15, about the 14, a little shoving there. That's a play Franklin's used throughout the season where they send trips to the right, and then they try to isolate on the backside with Frederick, and it works.
Yeah,
not enough for the first down.
Absolutely not. Ocean's going to take it over at about the 13-yard line. And I think maybe Ocean has seen that one before because they had real good containment on Frederick as he came across the middle. Never allowed him to turn his shoulders upfield to get towards the end zone.
5:30 to go here in the second period of action from Ackerman Field. 14-7. They score. Franklin Warriors out in front of this hardly fought contest between 2 fine teams. Ocean Township and Franklin Township. Ross back again. Dangerous pitch to Lupo, and he doesn't go anywhere as a flag flies, and I think there's going to be procedure.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's a tough place to call that pitch, and boy, if Lupo hadn't gotten a hand on it, that baby would have been sitting in the end zone. The flag is on the play. You may be right. It may be procedure against Ocean, and that's exactly what it is. They're going to walk it off. Franklin is going to decline. Check that. Captain Jason Goodell declines the penalty. It'll bring up a second down.
As the Franklin coach is up here in the booth, expressing their emotions over the call.
It'll bring up second down for Ocean.
Second and about 12. Lupo and Esposito, the setbacks. Ross back. Rolls. Sets up the pass. Fires over the middle. Has his man, Frisch. Frisch fighting for a first down, and he's pretty close.
Yeah, it looks like this one's going to get measured too, Mike, because I would say he's probably got it. They're going to bring out the sticks to measure it, though.
Bob, very impressed with 81's effort.
First, nice receiver. He's got a nice little hitch move when he catches the ball, throw the defender off to get that extra step.
Kind of a Steve Largent type receiver. Doesn't look like he's doing a lot of burning anywhere, but
he sure does.
Gets to the ball and makes a good effort afterwards.
And I'll tell you, he's 6'1", 160 according to the program. But he's a lanky kid, and he does have nice speed when he gets the ball. Good hands, nice soft hands, particularly on a cold day like today to bring it in. He's short about a half a foot.
A moment ago, you saw Charlie Weiss. Now we take a look at some of the Franklin cheerleaders on these sidelines. That'll bring up a 3rd down and very short for Ocean Township.
Now Ocean
coached by George Conti.
Ocean hasn't had a lot of success between the tackles, Mike, so it'll be interesting to see where they try to take this ball.
They've had some difficulty handing off. Esposito really hasn't touched the ball very often. They had one carry this time on the sneak Ross back, and they should have the 1st down.
Well, that avoids the handoff. They give them the 1st down, so Ocean has been able to move the ball outside the shadows of their goalposts. If the sun had been out, you'd see the shadow. And they get a 1st down with 4:32 to go. They're trailing Franklin 14-7.
There you see the junior quarterback, Doug Ross, back. A moment ago, you saw number 63, Pete Hummer. For sure, also on hand there, number 52, Scott Larkin. 1st and 10, ball spot at the 25. Ross back on the handoff to Lupo. Nowhere to go.
Ricky Schwartz, number 50, in from his defensive end position, stopped Lupo dead on the money.
Loss of 5.
And I'll tell you, Ricky Schwartz, 50, Rodney Plum, 44, have had outstanding success throughout the entire season, Mike. They come off those ends so quickly, and they're strong. They get right down to what business has to be done in there. They've had outstanding years, both of them.
After an exciting offensive 1st period, things have kind of slowed down there in the 2nd period. The cold weather settling in just a bit.
Yeah,
Could be an interesting 2nd half.
Yeah, I think we've lost a few degrees since the start of the game.
3:31 to go here in the 2nd period. Rosbeck setting up the screen, looking to throw, has his man, Esposito, some running room. Esposito loses the ball. It's picked up quickly by number 2 for Franklin, Courtney Sutherland, and he couldn't believe it. It hit him right in the chest. The ball popped free. I can't wait to see this one on the replay.
Esposito had an outstanding open field in front of him, had all kinds of room to ramble. And here it comes. Rosback with the fake up the middle, just dumps it right out. Nice setup by Ocean for the screen. Esposito just trucking down the side. Great tackle, ball loose. And you learn to fall on that ball, not try to pick it up.
Sullivan corrals the wayward pigskin as you take a look at the Franklin fans. Again, they're going to go with trips to the right. Probably look to isolate to Frederick to the backside, and that's exactly what they do. But Solomon nowhere to go as Esposito dumps him.
Solomon was just a sitting target on that one. Nobody blocked on that left side. And you can't throw the ball if you don't get time. And Louis looking a little dejected. Franklin goes without the huddle. 2:41 to go. They're on top 14-7.
Caruso on the sidelines covering Frederick. Frederick open to the middle, but they go to number 3, Chris Boyd. Chris Boyd still on his feet. Fights his way down the sidelines to about the 34-yard line.
Good decision by Boyd. Instead of trying to cut the ball against the grain, he just took it right down the sideline, picked up a block, was able to move the sticks for another Franklin 1st down.
Take a look at it again.
Solomon right to Boyd the flat, and he just takes it dead down the sideline. Gets a good block from Sutherland.
And a good block from 5, Jenkins also. Solomon again looking, firing as Boyd again. Boyd stays in bounds, takes it inside to about the 25.
Now Franklin's starting to nitpick a little bit with the short outside flare passes. And that'll sure get Ocean's attention real quick. We'll see how they adjust to that. And presumably Franklin will look for the adjustment and take advantage of whatever they give away in order to compensate for those quick dump passes by Solomon.
2nd and 3. Franklin at the 25 and on the march. 2:17 to go. Handoff goes to Jenkins. Jenkins with running room on the outside. Keeps his balance. Good effort. Has the 1st down and more. Good effort by Mark Jenkins, the senior tri-captain, to keep his balance. He could have been easily tripped up.
Rosback 5, the quarterback linebacker, was the first one in there to get a shot at Frederick, but he wasn't able to bring him down, and Frederick picks up another 1st down for Franklin. Plenty of time left. 2:09 in the 1st half. Look at the Franklin fans are out here in this cold weather today.
Everybody's thinking about Florida weather. Watching their frozen dress. Okay, back to live action on the field. Franklin first down. Louis Solomon on the option. Now the pass intended for Blair Wilson overthrows his target. You don't see that too often.
No, you don't. I think he was expecting Wilson to cut up the field. Wilson didn't read it. Just a miscue.
Brings up a second down.
Franklin's going to be looking at, second down at about 10 yards.
Ball spotted at the 16-yard line. Overcast skies here at Ackerman Field. Cold, chilly day for a state championship contest. Louis Solomon launches one in the corner for number 2, Courtney Sutherland. We're going to see offensive interference.
No, I don't think so, Mike. I think it's a good touchdown. I think it's going to stand. Sutherland was interfered with from what I could see from my position. There doesn't seem to be a lot of debate. Touchdown.
Yes, it's good.
It's good. And Franklin finally breaks the ice after having 14 quick ones. They get on top 20-7 with 1:59 to go. And apparently what happened is the Ocean defender really slowed down and tried to push Sutherland out of the play. And it's amazing he made the catch despite the interference.
Good job by Courtney Sutherland to pick up the touchdown. I thought I'd seen a push, but I might have seen the late one. Good catch, good concentration as McBride's kick is up and good. Franklin out in front now, 21-7.
And they've made up for all those missed opportunities as they've been able to move the ball down on a nice drive. Little short dump passes out to Boyd. Nice run by Solomon on an option one time. And then Jeff Frederick taking it back to the left side during the series for a nice gain. And then the interference call, which made no difference because Sutherland was able to hang on in the end zone.
As you mentioned, Bob, good job of Franklin mixing its plays with 1:59 to go. And Warriors up 21-7. I think the important thing here now is to see how tight the Franklin defense can play. We saw how quickly Ocean could strike in terms of number 81 making the big catch, and you know they're going to be going to the air. Let's see what will happen here as 7 Lupo and 81 Dan Frisch are deep for the O'Kang McBride kickoff.
Well, I'll tell you, it'll be interesting to see what Conti's philosophy is, the coach from Ocean. 1:59 to go. Do you play conservative, move the ball if you can, or do you take a chance and air it out and risk the turnover?
I think they're going to air it out, quite frankly, but we'll see. What do I know? Not very much, generally. As we're waiting for the kickoff here, good shot of the football on the field. C-Tech right on the scene, and McBride's kick was kind of a wounded duck. It's a free ball. Franklin may have it. And they do.
They do.
Excellent opportunity. I don't know if that was a call play, but you can take credit for it because it works perfectly. McBride's kick, kind of a lame duck, wobbled around. Franklin fell on it. Can't see exactly who got the recovery. It may have been number 18.
We're going to take a look at this, what I don't think was an intended onside kick, to be honest with you. It just died there. Ocean just didn't respond, didn't react very quickly at all. Franklin seizes the opportunity to take it over.
Let's see what Franklin will do now. They're already up by 2. Louis Solomon on the quarterback draw, rumbles ahead for 5. He loses the football. Again, a scramble for it. Franklin quickly back on top.
Well, I'll tell you what, hands got to be getting cold out there now. It's got to be tough to hold on to the ball because it is cold here in the box. And there's a little wind picking up now that wasn't here at the beginning of the game, probably about 10 to 15 miles an hour. So that wind chill factor's got to be dropping rapidly.
That's my spotter, Matt Pulowski, behind me, bouncing around to keep warm. Louis Solomon, almost just off the hands of number 5, Mark Jenkins.
Jenkins tried to turn around and grab that with one hand. The ball was behind him. Tipped it a little bit, just couldn't get to it before it hit the ground. Outstanding effort, though, by Mark Jenkins.
End zone coverage there provided by Mark Mazeski. There he is up in the cherry picker. That'll bring up a 3rd down for the Franklin Warriors. 3rd and about 2. Solomon on the keeper. Gets a good block. Has the 1st down to about the 10-yard line.
You just can't appreciate how elusive Louis Solomon is. It really looks like no effort at all. He just shakes one tackle off, and you can take a look at it here. Solomon, who's looking to throw the ball once he breaks out of traffic, arm pumps it once. Watch this move right there, and a monster block.
Dion Ballum really leveled the guy from Ocean. Solomon again looking to throw, waiting for Frederick to clear, has him open. Jeff Frederick on a reception, touchdown! Warriors strike again with 42 seconds remaining in the first half.
And I'll tell you, this is the type of offense that Franklin followers have been waiting for. 27 points in the first half, chance to run it up at least 1 or 2 more. And I tell you, Ocean's got a hole to dig out of now, no doubt about that. We'll take a look at Louis Solomon's touchdown pass to Jeff Frederick. Led him right on the money. Frederick, with all that speed, you just can't get him to the corner. And Franklin now 27-7 over Ocean with 42 seconds to go. McBride for the extra point.
Good job by Wade to handle a tough snap, and McBride's kick, no good. Franklin will remain out in front by 20, 27-7 the score. And as you said, Bob, Ocean really has to be feeling the crunch here. They're going to have to really regroup at halftime. Franklin has definitely had the better of play, the better of opportunities. And as I've mentioned earlier many times with Lennon Rivers during the season, those good teams take advantage of those opportunities and make them work for themselves.
They certainly did. You know, you go back to the Morristown game. We hate to dwell on Franklin's only loss, but they had 5 turnovers in the first half that they could not convert against Morristown. So Franklin really getting back on track with respect to the defense making things happen and the offense taking advantage of it.
42 seconds remain here in the first half. On a chilly afternoon at Ackerman Field, things heating up on the field for the Franklin Warriors. They've scored 3 unanswered touchdowns. The kick this time comes to Lupo. Lupo up the middle, smashed to the turf quickly.
Number 18 in on the stop for the Warriors, and bear with me 1 second. We'll tell you who that is as I can find a page here.
I don't think he's on the roster.
Jerry Miller.
Oh, he is. Also 84, Chris Shammy there.
Right. And
he's been busy.
Special teams again. Very important for Franklin. As the special teams actually set up with the recovery of that kick, set up the last touchdown to give Franklin a 20-point cushion with 24 seconds and the clock running. And I think Ocean will be happy to sit down and just get out of here down by 20 at the half.
And regroup. And as we say that, Rossback back to pass, looking for Frisch. Almost picked off by Jenkins, who would have been out of bounds anyway. Good coverage. Jenkins has had an outstanding season. He's returned a punt for a touchdown, an interception for a touchdown, a fumble for a touchdown. He's run for scrimmage for a touchdown.
I don't think he can do it any other way. I think he's explored all the possibilities.
I don't think he's run a kickoff back for a touchdown. That's about it. Other than that, he's done it all. "11 seconds to go. Ocean has the ball, 2nd and 10. Ball spotted at the 30-yard line. Doug Rossback, the quarterback. Hands off to Esposito,
who's stopped by Ricky Schwartz. The clock ticks down to 6, and there's a timeout as they move the sticks. I don't know that Ocean called the timeout. Check that. Yes, they did. So Coach George Connie says, hey, 6 seconds left to go. We're about almost midfield.
Time for that trick play.
Let's take a look at this.
I'm quite surprised in terms of what Ocean has, that they don't use the same play that Franklin does in terms of those trips and try to isolate Frisch on the backside, one-on-one.
Well, as you said, they do show multiple sets in the offense. They do a lot of shifting before the ball snap. But quite frankly, Franklin's taken away their running game, and Ocean has really been forced to throw the ball. That nice screen pass that they had set up to
Esposito.
Esposito was a great play. Unfortunately for Ocean, he got popped so hard that he gave the ball up, and Franklin once again quick to take the opportunity.
There you see Charlie Weiss talking to some of his players on the sidelines.
Just to give you back where we are, we're at 6 seconds to go here in the first half. Franklin on top by 20 points, 27-7. Ocean with the ball at about the, well, we're losing sideline markers here now, about the 41-yard line.
And to further clarify things, I'm me and you're you. And here we go, except you're probably warmer than I am as you're home watching this on tape delay while I'm freezing here in the press box. Rossback sets up, goodbye, that's all.
The Twin Towers, Parker and Dave Sanders just kind of put the finishing touches to a good first half for the Warriors as they lead the field 27-7 here in Somerset, New Jersey in the Group 3 Central Jersey Championship.
And we'll be back for a second half action. Lots more high school football on tap. Championship Group 3 play. Don't go ball rolling and things going in their favor now.
You got to say Franklin defense has really been the dominant factor in the first half of the game. They've created so many opportunities for the offense to put the ball in the end zone. We do have some stats. We'll go over them very quickly. Louis Sullivan, 7 for 14 through the air, 2 touchdown passes, which puts him one shy of tying the state record set by Darren Roberts of Franklin High School in 1984. One footnote to that is that Darren Roberts set that record in 12 games. That at the time was the longest series of games played in New Jersey. Solomon's got it done so far, 1 game shy of that. He can break it or at least tie it today. On the ground, Solomon has 94 yards rushing. And Chris Boyd, number 3 for the Warriors, the superback, has 75 yards rushing, 25 yards on the receiving side. And on the defensive tackles, Ricky Schwartz, number 50 for the Franklin Warriors, 6 tackles, including 2 sacks. Ocean, on the other hand, the one scoring play that they had was a 70-yard pass from Rosbach to Frisch. On the total offense, though, Ocean is minus 30 yards, even with that touchdown, Michael, in the first half.
And to start off the second half, I believe Franklin gets the ball. Ocean will have to kick off, I believe.
You believe correctly.
And we're going to have to see some tough defense from Ocean. They were kind of picked apart there late in that second period by Louis Sullivan and company. Franklin mixing its offense very well.
Now, when you look at Louis Solomon's stats passing today, he's 50%, 7 for 14. But you got to look at the 94 yards he's put up rushing, and that just shows that Louis knows how to get the job done. If they won't give me the pass, I'll take the rushing. You got to give a good hand to the Franklin offensive line. They've done a great job. Sanders and Rodney Parker doing an outstanding job as far as the blocking, and on the defense also.
As we're getting ready for the kickoff, back deep, number 4, Jeff Frederick, number 5, Mark Jenkins for the Franklin Warriors. And Ocean kicks off, comes up to one of the up men. Number 1, I believe, is Blair Wilson.
Absolutely right. Wilson takes the short kickoff, gives Franklin great field position, which I'm sure is something that Ocean did not want to do. Franklin will put it in play at about the 43-yard line as we start the second half here in a very cold and getting windy George L. Ackerman Field.
Franklin, great field position to start the second half of action. Ball spotted about the 43-yard line. Louis Solomon looks over the defense. Solomon behind center Jason Ganella. Drops the pass, looks over the middle, going for number 4, Jeff Frederick. Just a little overthrown, or Frederick would have been there. Back on the coverage for Ocean, number 24, Alfie Garoso.
Garoso just 2 steps or so behind Frederick. Had the ball not been overthrown, it could have been a big, big problem for Ocean on that play, because Frederick definitely had the zone all the way.
Fighting a terrible cold here as I'm coughing my way through this broadcast. But who cares?
Franklin looking at 2nd and 10 from the 43.
Solomon rolls to his left, looks across the middle, fine. Intended there for number 1, Blair Wilson, but the ball dropped as things are really chilly down on the field.
Yeah, Wilson looked down at his hands after that hit him, and it hit him dead in the hands. But, you know, Mike, with this temperature, with the wind chill factor, you know it's got to be tough to hang on to it. And Solomon rifled that ball across the middle.
Franklin faced with a 3rd and 10. A fake to Wilson, roll. And Jenkins wide open. Oh, hits him in the hand at the 25-yard line, and he can't hold on, and you won't see a better pass than that.
Well, I know Jenkins is upset, but there is a flag on the play. We're going to get to wait and see what the read is on the penalty. It's against Franklin, so it never would have stood had he caught the ball. On the replay, wide open right in the numbers. But as we said, we've got a procedure call against Franklin. Probably an eligible man downfield, it looks like.
Yeah, that was the call.
And they're going to run it back. All for naught anyway.
52, Dion Ballum out in front of Louis Solomon on the roll. And that the skies part and brightens the field just a bit, opening up for some snow to fall, obviously.
Take a look at number 7, Lupo back, and Frisch, 81 for Ocean, as Franklin's O'Kane's McBride gets ready to punt. Ball sits at the 43-yard line.
Snap to McBride. Good kick. Booming kick over Frisch's head. Bounces at the 20-yard line down to about the 15. Good job. Covered there by 3 Franklin Warriors, including 51 Jason Ganella.
And in his exuberance to down the ball, Rodney Blum, I think he probably landed on top of the ball and is not feeling too crazy about downing the ball at this point. But Ocean starts out deep in the hole again. Rossback will be passing into a wind. Looks like it's about maybe 10 to 15 miles an hour. Cold day, windy day, tough on the receivers, and Rossback has a lot of work to do to get back in this game.
5, Rossback, the junior quarterback. Sets his team. Looks over the defense, going for the option. Keeps, turns upfield for a tough 3 yards.
And Rossback is bulldogged down by number 3, Chris Boyd. And Ocean will be looking at a second about 5. Rossback able to pick up some decent yardage on that keep. 18 out for Franklin. Coming off the field is Jerry Miller. Let's set the Franklin secondary for you real quick. Number 2 is Courtney Sutherland. Number 5, Mark Jenkins. Number 4, Jeff Frederick.
As you take a look at the wide shot of the press box, open windows, nice cold air keeping us awake here. Motion left, Rossback rolls the opposite way. He'll get away from that sack, still on his feet, does a good job to elude 74 Parker. Finally fires to the open field, intended for number 24, Alfie Garoso.
And Rossback had his hands full, boy, because I'll tell you, Parker, we'll take a look at it on the replay. Well, I tell you about it when you can watch it. Rossback on a fake handoff rolls out to his left hand. Check that right side, avoids one tackle, then another, manages to get the pass off, just tipped away by Sutherland and almost completed on a tough attempt to bring it in. All for naught, though. A lot of excitement and no gain. It'll bring up 2nd down and 5. Check that, should be 3rd down and 5. But we're walking off a penalty. It's got to be a hold, I would get. Oh, illegal receiver downstairs, right. Frank will take the penalty. It'll set him back to 2nd down and 9 to get down back.
And Ocean really has to get their offense in gear. They didn't show very much that second half. Franklin really dominated in that second period, especially at the end of the second period.
Well, as we pointed out, Mike, they had the 70-yard touchdown. They still ended up minus 30 yards overall in the first half.
Rossback to throw, has his man complete. Number 24, the receiver, Alfie Garoso.
Let's check that, 81 Frisch on the reception. And I wouldn't have pointed out, Mike, except that Garoso was on the outside of the field and Campbell was dead on him.
Thanks a lot, old buddy. Caught me nodding off.
We just couldn't get away with that one. I'm sorry.
They wouldn't know. Sure, people wouldn't. No one would have told.
Okay, it's a 1st down, the initial 1st down for Ocean here in the second half. 9:54 to go. They're trying to dig their way out.
Frisch wide right at the bottom of your screen. 1st down and 10. Esposito shifts. Lupo the Malone setback as Rossback tries to turn the corner. Gets maybe a yard. Maybe more, like 3.
Dave Sanders in on the initial stop, gives Rossback a hand up, which I'm sure Rossback appreciates. Little tender on that one side. So Ocean looks at a 2nd down and 7. Number 50, Ricky Schwartz, coming off the field for Franklin.
Schwartz, fine defensive end, had some outstanding games. A couple that come to mind against Hunterdon Central and Somerville.
Ricky's listed at 5'7", 170. I think he plays more like 6'3", 240. Tough kid.
2nd down, long 7. Rossback hands off to 24. And that is Garoso.
Not much of a gain. It still brings up 3rd and 7. Franklin's defense still tough. They really were a dominant factor in the first half, as we pointed out, causing many turnovers, and the offense eventually capitalizing on a few of them.
8:42 to go, 3rd period action, 27-7 the score. Franklin Warriors lead it here at Ackerman Field, Central Jersey Group 3 Championship football. Rossback rolls, looks under pressure, fires his pass away, intended for number 10, Sean Richter. He just can't corral it, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Richter was open on that pass, Mike. Rosbach really didn't get a lot of time to set and throw as he was on a roll to get it out there. So, as you point out, Ocean not being able to move the ball much at all will have to give it up at number 4 and number 5. Fredericks and Jenkins back for Franklin to take the kick.
Rosbach will do the punting. As you mentioned, Bob, Jenkins and Frederick, the deep back, as it goes to Frederick at the 40-yard line. Frederick backtracking, now has lots of room. A good block there. Frederick has nothing but room. He's gone. Good spot. 10-5, touchdown.
That was a touchdown, I believe, by Franklin, as Jeff Frederick just motored with outstanding special teams play again by Franklin. Outstanding blocks. And as soon as we can get it back up, you'll see it one more time. Franklin just dominating this game now in every phase. 33-7 with a PAT coming up. 8:11 to go.
We'll take a look at a short replay as the kick comes down to Frederick, and he gets an outstanding block upfield. Watch it coming up here shortly, Bob.
Oh, he gets some tremendous blocking all the way. You'll see some real crunchers all the way down. Jeff Frederick is not one to be toyed with. The man's got speed.
Picks up his 14th or 15th touchdown on the season. Back on the field. The try for 2 is no good.
Louis Solomon expressing somewhat of his frustration.
33-7. Franklin starting to really roll it up here a bit on Ocean. Ocean's offense just not being able to get in gear in cold weather here. Franklin's speed really becoming a dominant factor here.
Take a look at number 79, Big Dave Sanders, as he walks off the field. Gets rid of his hat. Nice balmy day, huh, David? There's a look at the scoreboard. 8:11 to go. 33-7. It tells the whole story. Franklin getting ready to kick off. O'Kane's McBride, number 33, who's got a busy foot today.
Christian Lupo, again, the deep men for Ocean Township.
Try and name some of the kids on the special teams. Dwayne Warren is number 23 for Franklin. Number 18, Jerry Miller. 63 for Franklin on the kicking team is Ed Petrosky. 44 is Rodney Blum. 50, Ricky Schwartz. Trying to pick up these numbers real quick, folks. 52, Dion Balaam. The number 1 who's back behind the kicker, McBride, is Blair Wilson as the kick is off.
And Dwayne Warren, 23, as it comes to Frisch at the 25. Frisch looking for running room. Oh, he takes a vicious pop, still on his feet, though, but they'll rule his knee down. Somebody really smashed him at about the 30-yard line. And Frisch kind of just shook it off and said, okay, I can take your best lick.
Rodney Blum, 44, is the one who put the leather on him, I believe. Rodney can't believe he didn't go down. He still can't believe he didn't go down.
He took a vicious pop. 2 tough players. As you take a look at the Franklin fans, and they have to be a little tough here today in this chilly weather, which I think I've just about talked about to death.
Well, Franklin did get a good turnout eventually as the game got underway, and you got to give the fans a lot of credit for supporting the team.
Richter to the right. Rosbach on the pitch to 35. Esposito rumbling ahead for 5.
Esposito with a decent run, picked up about 3 yards on it. It'll be 2nd and 7, and I tell you, Ocean Mike just can't seem to get it going. Yeah, but you got to give a lot of credit to the Franklin defense.
That's true. Ocean's 1 scores come on the big play.
Well, I don't believe Ocean's been a high-scoring team all this season anyway. They had 2 close games with Mattawan. And I don't know that they've run into a defense like this one that Franklin has this year.
Franklin definitely taking control here, especially late in the 2nd period, and keeping it under control as they go to Lupo, and he is melted to the turf. By 51, Jason Ganella.
Jason Ganella on the stop. We'll take a look at this one more time. It's a draw play right up the gut. Ganella doesn't fight for it at all. Hammers the ball carrier. Check that. That's number 61. I couldn't figure out how Ganella got in there. That was Jeff Batt. Nice tackle by Batt. Ocean now looking at 3rd and long. They show twins to the right.
Rosbach calling signals, rolls to his right, under pressure. Dumps it away to Lupo, number 7, who makes the catch. Far short of the first down. Pickup of only 3. Brought down there by number 50, Ricky Schwartz, and 33, McBride.
It'll bring up 4th and long. Franklin will send back once again Frederick and Jenkins. It'll be interesting to see which way Rossback decides to kick this one.
Well, it didn't work out kicking it to number 4, Frederick, so let's try Jenkins.
Let's try
5.
5 may be the number.
Better yet, let's kick it way down the field in the middle, I think.
That's a tough kick. Wind's right in his face.
Under pressure. This time it will go to Jenkins. Jenkins at the 30, looking for running room. Jenkins to the outside, eludes one tackler. Jenkins up the sideline. Jenkins keeps his feet, crosses the 50 to about the 48, where he's finally brought down by number 74, Elliot Weiss.
Jenkins takes the ball off the catch, Mike, and kind of stands there waiting for people to commit and then make his move. You can watch it again as Rossback gets a decent kick into the wind.
Watch his juke here on 44.
And gone. And really, look at the acceleration he has as he starts heading upfield.
Reminded me a little bit of the person I saw here at halftime, Calvin Peanut Lyon, a great running back here at Franklin Township years ago under head coach Pat Dolan. Stopped by to chat. One of Franklin's all-time leading rushers.
Solomon on the carry, a little slow getting up this time. I think Louis is going to want to not give that call his number too many more times in this half.
5:01 to go. Third period of action. Franklin easily out in front, 33-7. Ocean hasn't really even challenged for a score since the first period as Louis Solomon is setting up, firing over the middle again. This time it's Courtney Sutherland who has difficulty finding the handle, and it's the cold weather, Bob, without a doubt.
Yeah, they've got Sutherland's wearing gloves. A couple of the other receivers are not, but they just don't seem to be able to hold on to the ball. It's obviously the cold weather plus some concentration, I would think, too. Sutherland once again probably think he could turn that ball up pretty fast and pick up some big turf. Number 6 coming off the field for Franklin is Rodney Wilkerson. Franklin's so loaded with talent, Mike, as far as receivers are concerned. Wilkerson, who is not a starter, I believe has at least 1 touchdown to his credit this year. A lot of speed, a lot of talent.
Wilson motion left, Frederick wide to the left, and they go to Frederick, and Louis Solomon just misses him on the little slant end.
Hard to get a feel for the ball right now. As we've mentioned over and over again, weather conditions are not as bad as they could have been given the weather system that they predicted for today. We didn't get the snow they talked about, but we sure do have the cold weather. It'll bring up a 4th down for Franklin, about 8 yards to go, and Franklin will not kick.
Courtney Sutherland wide to the right. At the bottom of the screen, you see number 4, Jeff Frederick, who returned the punt for a touchdown, and Solomon rolls that way. Lots of blocking in front. Solomon elects to run, bumps into his own man, 52, Dion Ballum, who was out in front to block, along with 79, Dave Sanders.
Ocean will take over on downs. It'll be 1st down for the Spartans from the shore area. Ball sits right at the 40-yard line.
And the way the Franklin defense has been playing, they haven't really given up very much here.
No, they have not.
In terms of turning it over and not punting it away.
Well, they've had 1 initial 1st down in this half, and then the drive died after that. Of course, Rossback is starting with much better field position than their first drive.
Rossback on the fake, sets up, looks for number 81, Frisch. He makes the catch. He's on the sideline. Frisch to the middle of the field, still on his feet, crosses the 30 to the 25, almost to the 15, 14-yard line, Bob?
At the 15 where he's down. Franklin's got a secondary man down in the field right now.
Let's take a look at it again. I think this is just that size matchup you've talked about again early, Bob, as you look on the replay. There you see makes
Frisch with an outstanding speed and a tough guy to bring down. He's got some good elusive moves, nice hands. It was a great pass by Rossback to put him in great scoring position. Franklin players still down, as you can see on the screen.
I think that might be just a case of having the wind knocked out of him. And let's see, hopefully that is all. It's number 4, Jeff Frederick.
Jeff Frederick for Franklin, who's down on the field.
As you take a look at some of the fans on hand to witness this Central Jersey Group 3 championship, brought to you exclusively here on SeaTech Cable in Somerset and Hunterdon County.
once again, you can see the Rossback, when he has time, can deliver the mail, and I'm impressed with Frisch, Mike. He's an outstanding receiver. Outstanding receiver. Unfortunately, Ocean's offense has been only one-dimensional, and it's been Rossback to Frisch for the most part. And except for one touchdown saving tackle, Ocean would have been able to get on the board on that particular play. Still looking at the player down on the field, Jeff Frederick, number 4 from Franklin. Team trainers out there with Joe Stinson, the offensive coordinator.
Frederick, who now has close to 100 points on the season, actually has 90 points, and he's up.
That's Christine Lynn, the Franklin trainer, with him. Jeff apparently okay, talking to his teammates about don't give up this TD. You can almost read his lips from here.
Ocean has been a big play team offensively all afternoon. The 2 big pass plays, they haven't really been able to generate any consistency in their offense. It'll be interesting to see what they go to here in terms of a call.
Well, be interesting to see how Franklin reacts.
Ball on the 16-yard line. As you look at Frederick come to the sidelines, now back to the field. Frisch, the wide man at the bottom of the screen. Rossback on the reverse. Caruso, 24, lugs the pigskin.
Nice call by Ocean. Got Franklin momentum going to the other side as they did the reverse.
Close to a first down, short by about maybe a yard, maybe less.
Caruso showed good speed getting around the outside that time. Like took the right angle for the corner. Got it down to about what looks like the 5 or 6 yard line. And now Franklin's defense is really up against it. Inside the 5. 3:31 to go. Game really not in jeopardy here, let's be honest. But Ocean, for the first time in a long time, showing some offense.
Well, that's a long way from being over. We have 3:31 to go here in the 3rd period, a whole period of football to play. If Ocean could generate a little spark of life here offensively. We had some big excitement in that 1st period. 2nd down, less than 1 for the Spartans. A good down to operate with offensively, Bob.
Yeah, you can do some tricky things here, knowing you've got 2 more downs after this to get the 1st. And I would suspect the Rossback and company will be looking for the 6th rather than the 1st down here.
In motion goes Richter, and the pitch goes to Lupo. Lupo for the 1st down. He doesn't get it.
No, he doesn't. And I think at least 3/4 of the Franklin defense had to be in on that tackle.
Chris Boyd is there.
Rodney Blum, Blair Wilsons, Courtney Sutherland. You pick a number, they're over there. Didn't get the 1st down. Lost a yard, actually, so it'll bring up 2nd and a long 2. 3rd and a long 2. Check that.
Swarming Franklin defense. Now things change a little bit in terms of having a good down to operate with.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see Franklin do a blitz on this and send Boyd up the middle, try to get Rossback one more time. We'll watch and see if Boyd stunts it all. Nope, they're going to plug the middle.
Whoa, what a hit.
Monster play.
Lupo trying to hurl forward for the 1st down is met in the midair. I can't wait to see that on replay.
Great play by the center of the Franklin defense. Lupo up and boom.
Hello. That'll warm you up a bit.
Well, that Franklin defense gets awfully tenacious, Michael. They've only given up a little under 7 points a game all season.
And they'll measure, and they're going to be short again, it looks like.
That's a tough measure. Lupo's progress.
They are short. And that'll bring up a 4th down. Franklin's defense turning the tide here against Ocean.
Look at the sticks. It's 4th and a yard. I guess Ocean called for the measurement. I have a hard time. Well, now they're going to move that stick up, so it's almost right on.
And Franklin holds here. I believe he'll have it.
It looked like Rossback was able to get low enough to sneak forward for the 1st down.
It took 3 tries to go less than a yard. And that's tough defense. Ball will be spotted inside the 5, now just over the 5, maybe at the 4. The board says it's the 3. As you take a look at 76 on the sidelines for the Franklin Warriors, that's Jerry Jacobs.
Franklin defense showing how tough it really can be. Number 50, Ricky Schwartz on the outside. Rodney Blum on the other end. O'Kane's McBride, a linebacker. Rodney Parker, 74. Deion Balaam.
And that strange man in the red suit is Mark Mazeski of SeaTac. Freezing and waving. Now we have a delay official timeout. Equipment. Let's see what's going on here.
It's an equipment.
Somebody's shoulder strap must be loose. Okay, now we're all set.
Is he wearing an evening gown?
Okay. Ross back on the option. Run down from behind. By
50 Schwartz in on the dock.
Schwartz.
And Blair Wilson for Franklin, number 1.
There we are, freezing up here high, folks.
I look a lot like Lenny. Ocean having a hard time moving this ball any substantial distance.
1:16 to go here in third period of action at Ackerman Field. 33-7 the score. Ocean knocking at the door. Doug Ross back, the junior quarterback directing, looking to fire. Good coverage. Now he throws short of the touchdown, complete. That was about a 2-yard pass and I believe a fumble out of bounds. Let's see what's going to happen here, how they rule it. Let's watch it again.
It's a quick pass out to the left by Rossback to guess who, but he does not get in the end zone, although 74 from Ocean indicated they would. So it's third down. It's got to be less
than a yard.
Oh, easily.
Third and less than a yard. Franklin's defense, very tough. Inside the 5.
I think
Ocean's run a lot of plays.
This got to be Rossback's own number here.
Hands off to Esposito, and he's in.
So Ocean, with 17 seconds to go here in the third quarter, puts 6 more on the board, gives them 13. They're still down by 20 points to Franklin with the PAT coming up.
Franklin, take a look at the replay here, Bob.
Nothing fancy here. Esposito just on a power dive right over the left guard, gets into the end zone. But Franklin made it a very, very tough touchdown for Ocean. It took them 7 or 8 plays. There's some of Franklin's finest.
Warming up in front of the
warming up in front of the heater.
I can't blame him a bit. I'd gladly switch places. Franklin's defense giving up just 7.4 as Ocean will go for 2. And a whistle.
And this, total confusion. No organization. And a flag on the play.
Procedure, encroachment, take your pick here. Offsides Franklin.
So they'll cut it halfway to the goal line and do it one more time.
Warriors easily out in front, 33-13, 20-point bulge.
We checked earlier to see if we get a score out of the Bridgewater East Rumson game. WCTC is here doing the game today on the round robin schedule of Central Jersey Championships. Couldn't give us any information, unfortunately.
Handoff to Esposito, who's in.
So Rumson, checked at Rumson. Ocean adds
wrong
2 more.
Here,
well, right game, wrong church. What can I tell you? They had 2 points. It's 33-15 with 17 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Franklin way on top in the Central Jersey Group 3 Championship. Franklin looking obviously to make it 2 championships in the past 3 years. They have been in the finals, as we pointed out earlier, 3 years straight. They won it in '84 when Darren Roberts led the team to a 12-0 season. And now the new man on the horizon, King Solomon, as some people have said here in the press box, who's looking still to get a shot at Roberts' all-time touchdown passing record for the state of New Jersey, and can still do it conceivably. Only a junior. He'll be back next year, folks.
Well, the record, of course, is season record of 28 touchdown passes. Franklin Township that season going 12-0 under Coach Len Rivers at that time. A record that'll probably stand forever as they eliminated that extra playoff game. That particular year, they had to have an additional playoff. I think they were playing football into the middle of December that year.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it was 1 week beyond the first week in December. That's right. This would have been a semifinal game in '84, actually. And in fact, it was Ocean in the semifinals of Franklin beat the 12-game series.
The lone deep man is Frederick. Jenkins is up close as they go for the onside kick, and it's handled by one of the up men in a fine fashion. Jeff Frederick.
Number 7 is Jamal Wade coming off the field for Franklin. We'll take a look at it one more time. It's a pooch kick.
Jenkins.
And it's covered right there. Ba-boom.
Jenkins, Boyd, and Sutherland, 3 of the up men, and those are usually the deep guys.
You got some hands up there, despite the cold weather.
And they're talking to Franklin about something that we made, as you see, a good close-up look of Charlie White.
Without the cap. Oh, it was a procedure call against Ocean. They're going to move it back 5 yards so they can kick it again. They're obviously offsides on the onside attempt.
Of course, Franklin worked the onside kick to perfection, although I don't think it was intentional earlier.
We're just advised, Mike, that Middletown South, I believe it is, just beat Madison Central in the Group 4 Central Jersey final.
Middletown South, a really tough powerhouse team these last few years.
What a turnaround team for them. They had a very tough season last year to come back as strong as they have. Although they did play Central last year, Madison Central in the finals last year. Central got away with that one. Onside kick again. Franklin will be able to cover. They'll take over the ball at about the 46-yard line.
Can't ask for better field position than that, as we have 11 seconds, under 11 seconds to go here in this third and frosty third period of action from Ackerman Field.
Franklin's going to let the clock run out. It'll go into the fourth quarter.
And that'll do it for this third period with the Franklin Warriors out front 33-15 with direction of Brian LePay. Longtime local sports assistant Jim McHugh from Hillsborough also on hand. As Franklin Warriors leading 33-15 over the Ocean Spartans, and the ball goes quickly to Chris Boyd, number 3. Boyd with running room rumbles down to the 25-yard line.
Nice run by Boyd. Great call by Franklin. Good blocking up front. All his elements. They got a nice playoff. Boyd showing some great elusive running. He's not an overly quick kid, but he sure knows how to make the cuts when the time comes.
First down, Franklin Warriors on the march again. At the 25, Solomon. This time again to Boyd. Boyd tripped up at the line of scrimmage. Picks up maybe 2.
Chris Boyd, as we said before, the super back in the Franklin run and shoot offense, has had a great running season for Franklin. When they need to go to him, he does the job. Also had an outstanding season on defense. Solomon looks over the D. He'll audible at the line as they normally do in the Franklin run and shoot. It's a
hand off to Jenkins. Jenkins looking for running room, bumps into the official, now scoots the other way, takes a block from Boyd. There's going to be a clip on that call as Jenkins is knocked out of bounds by number 4. We've seen a couple of those close clip calls here in the contest. We'll probably take a look at it on replay.
Now, Franklin's had some tough calls. If they do bring this one back up again, you can debate whether it was a good call or not. Clearly on the one touchdown play where they called it back on the clip, that was a tough call for Franklin.
Okay, folks, it's time for you at home to make the call.
If I were you, I'd call a pizzeria.
You won't have to do it, folks. We don't have the replay.
Make it by ESP, because there's no way you're going to see it again. You can take a look at sidelines. You see number 5, Mark Jenkins, coming off. An extraordinary shot of the official's backside as he walks down the line.
Let me put it this way. Franklin fans, it was definitely not a clip. Ocean fans, it definitely was a clip. Solomon fakes, sets up, 2 pass, under pressure, will keep, and slides into home safe. Just shy of the 49.
Solomon looking for number 2, Courtney Sutherland, all the way down the field. Sutherland was pretty well covered, to say the least. Blair Wilson on the left side for Franklin, number 1, put a move on Frisch, who was trying to cover him, and Wilson was wide open, but Solomon just didn't look off and find him.
Third down as Franklin lines up a slew of receivers to the right, and Solomon looks to throw to Frederick, keeps his balance. Great job by Louis. Still looking for Frederick, now tucks it down and will go out of bounds. Louis doing a good job to avoid the sack there.
Unfortunately, though, not enough to get the first down. By no means. It'll bring up third down. Franklin looking for, we'll check that, fourth down at about 22 yards. And I would suspect that Franklin will probably not kick this ball. They haven't kicked on fourth down except for one occasion in this game.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, their defense has played so well that they haven't lost much by not kicking the ball away. And they'll go for it. Over 20 yards to go. Solomon's pass almost intercepted.
Well, the good news there, Franklin fans, is that the hands of the Ocean receivers is just as cold as the hand of the Franklin receivers. He couldn't hold on. We'll take a look at this one more time. That's number 53 for Ocean on the call.
63, Pete Hummer.
Oh, check that. Pete Hummer on the Hummer, excuse me, on the call. And he can't hold on to it. So much for that. 9:25 to go, fourth quarter. Franklin on his way to its second Central Jersey Group 3 championship in 3 years. They were about a touchdown and 2 points short last year against Madawan. In Charlie Weiss's initial season as head coach here at Franklin.
And the countdown to the Group 3 championship on the board, 9-10 showing. Ross back at quarterback for Ocean, looking to throw, setting up, launching one for Frisch. Knocked away by Jenkins and intercepted. Yes, great play. What an outstanding effort by Jenkins.
Mark Jenkins with great hands that time. Just cut across Frisch. I'll tell you, when the ball was up in the air, Frisch having that height advantage, Jenkins really went off the ground to make the interception.
Let's take a look at this catch.
And you can watch it yourself. Rossback rifles the ball way deep to Frisch. Look at this.
Oh, great.
Great concentration by Jenkins to hang on to that ball.
No question about it being in bounds. From the angle here, look close.
Take a look at it again as we're going to show you one more time because it's such a super play. Rossback rifles it deep right. Great concentration by Jenkins.
Whoa, what's going on here?
We're all busy watching the replay, and now we find out. Let's see that replay again.
Let's see that video replay. No doubt about it on camera, on slow-mo.
Here we go. One more time. We'll take a look on the TV. They say he was out. Rossback throws.
Watch his feet.
Watch his feet. He's got it.
Catch
He's
right
in there.
Both feet.
He took 3 steps before he got out of bounds.
No doubt about it. Controversy on the field. Let's use that NFL video.
I was just going to say,
not even close by the camera angle. On the field, however, it might look differently.
Well, if this was the NFL, we probably would have spent this much time and about 10 minutes more as they debated it.
Well, they would have definitely overturned the decision now.
Oh, yeah, for sure, because you saw it, folks. He was definitely in bounds. Unless they're saying he never had control of the ball, but he did. That's the only argument that they may have, is that he didn't have control of the ball. But
whatever. Back to second down here for Ocean. Ross back to pass again. Under pressure, setting the screen, gets it off to Esposito. Esposito with some running room. Trying to be run down from behind finally. He's taken to the turf by 61, Jeff Blatt.
Well, this time Esposito hung on to the ball on the screen. We'll take a look at the replay on the screen pass by Ocean one more time. Rossback just dumps it off to Esposito, gets a nice block up here and turns it upfield and hangs on to the ball for the first down. Ocean with 8:51 to go, way behind in this game. They're down 33-15, time running out. Rossback trying to get some offense generated here.
Actually, Bob, you've seen Franklin almost every game. I think this is the most points the first unit has given up in a contest.
They gave up 16 to Madawan last week.
I mean, Morristown.
Or Morristown, excuse me. Up the middle by Rossback, handoff to, as they peel off, looks like Lupo coming off the bottom, number 7. Gain of about 1.
I think I will correct. Wasn't it 14-12? Wasn't
no,
it?
16-12.
Oh, 16.
Morristown went for the 2-point option on both downs.
Oh, okay. Who cares?
I was just going to ask you. I don't even know why it makes any difference. That was then. This is now. Franklin on top in the Central Jersey Group 3 Championship. We've just been advised that Bishop R has fallen to Notre Dame. So far, Franklin looks like the only Central Jersey team who's got a win almost under their belt.
Rosbach rolls left, looks downfield, lofts a pass, almost picked off by 22 Esco Wilson. Also on hand, number 2 Courtney Sutherland. Pass intended for 81 Dan Frisch.
Frisch, despite the fact that he's a great receiver, just couldn't get up high enough on this one. In fact, I don't think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar could have snared this one. Way over the head. Sutherland's limping. Looks like he's having a tough time motoring around back there. He was on the ground on that last play, as you saw. Rosbach brings him up. Time running out on Ocean.
7:46 to go. Rosbach, deep drop, launches the one down the field for Frisch. Jenkins providing good coverage along with Wilson.
So Ocean looks at a 4th down and 9 yards. Rosbach trying to get him deep on Frisch that time, just couldn't shake that coverage. The pass was a little bit off. And I presume Ocean will not turn the ball over here. They really don't have much choice. They've got to go for it, I would suspect. And we'll see if Franklin goes into a nickel on the defense. Louis Solomon's in, the quarterback, so it would appear that they're set for the nickel. As you can see Louis walking around. Just a junior, folks. Probably one of the highly touted quarterbacks in the country in high school football today.
A nickel would make sense at this quarter.
Yes, it would. You've been thinking about that for about 10 seconds. I'm watching your eyes. I'm saying, what is this pearl of wisdom?
Oh, yes. Frozen numbskull as Rosbach's pass intended for 81 Frisch.
And Rosbach was leveled right after the pass. We'll try to throw a block there. Didn't do any good. Franklin
Will take over.
On downs. As the fans here at Franklin express their appreciation for a good defensive stand once again by the Warriors. You see Esco Wilson, 22. Charlie Weiss talking with Joe Stinson. Lovely hat, Joe. We really like that. Do you make those at home or what?
This is one of those better to be warm and fashionable days.
Well, I think most people in the stands and everybody else would agree that the sooner this one's over, the better now.
Handoff inside to Boyd.
Chris Boyd running like it's still the first quarter, and Franklin trying to get a big lead in this game.
Actually, Louis Solomon one pass, touchdown pass short of the record. I'd love to see him get it here.
Well,
run out. I doubt if we will, but you never know.
Is he one short of the record or one short of the tie?
Tie, for the record. As
you're going to tell us who set the record
Wilson.
again?
The pass goes to Wilson on the sideline, scoots over the 45 to about the 44 where he's run out of bounds.
Close to a first down. Clock still running, though. The officials do not wave it off.
D'Ambrosi on the tackle.
Now the officials stop the clock. One official stops the clock, one official gets it going. It's hard to tell which one supersedes the other. Franklin with the first down inside the 50-yard line.
I say let that clock go.
Yeah, you and about 4,000 other people that are here.
Louis long count. Ball goes to Jenkins, I believe, on the little counter motion. Jenkins comes up short of the first down. That'll bring up 2nd and about 5. And we are your sniveling broadcasters here, unfortunately. Difficult cold weather as Chris Boyd with the call. Boyd slips another tackle. Boyd doing a good job, finally slips to the turf himself.
Chris Boyd just having an outstanding day when they call his number. Runs the ball so well, and you can take a look at Chris's run one more time on the replay. Great move to the outside. Nice fake on Frisch right there, and then just lost the footing.
Fans in the stands, a day like today makes me look forward to basketball. It'll be one of those inside games to do. Solomon on the pass, under pressure. He'll go down. Tackled there by 75. Steve O'Hagan.
You know, O'Hagan's had a good game for Ocean today. He's been on a lot of tackles, a couple sacks, done a nice job. But at this time of the game, it's tough to, tough to keep it going. And O'Hagan's hanging in there like a good football player, trying to do the best he can.
That'll bring up a 2nd down, about along 11. Jamal Wade now wide right for Franklin. The handoff goes inside. Boyd again.
Boyd running with a lot of drive, Michael. wants that end zone. See Dave Sanders getting off the bottom of that pile. 52 for Franklin, Dion Baylor.
Franklin on route to its second state championship in 3 years.
68 on the Franklin line is Joe Bradwell.
Jenkins with the call, scooting to the outside. Jenkins with daylight. Jenkins turning the corner, lunging into the end zone, but they haven't made a call yet.
No, he's out of bounds at about the 2-yard line. Check that, about the 3.
If we have it on replay, I'd love to take a look at the aerodynamic abilities of Mark Jenkins, number 5. And here we go.
On the replay.
Watch this, folks.
He takes it out.
Dive bomber.
Unfortunately, out at about the 2-yard line, Franklin's got the first inside the 5-yard line. First and goal, 5 minutes to go. Franklin on top, 33-15.
Great effort by the tri-captain, Mark Jenkins, as he urges the crowd on. 5 minutes to play, as Bob mentioned. Louis looking to pass. Touchdown! And with that pass, Louis Solomon notches a tie for the state record for touchdown passes in a season.
His third on the game today, came in with 25, ties Darren Roberts for 28 TDs in one season, as Mike points out. And this kid's only a junior, folks. We'll take a look at it one more time, Mr. Solomon. This one's for you. Congratulations on tying the state record. Fires it right into the hands of number 7, Jamal Wade.
Jamal Wade.
For a great catch. And Franklin puts it up 39-15.
McBride will kick. Wade will hold. The snap is down. The kick is a rocket.
There's flag on the play, though. Apparently, maybe offsides against Ocean. We'll check and see. As Jason Gunnell is flat on the ground, the center for Franklin, waiting to get the call.
Tied, yes. It's tied. As in the press box, they're talking about Roberts.
As a great debate rages as to whether Louis Solomon has tied or broken the record, based on the stats that everyone seems to have, it's a tie. And now O'Kane's McBride tries the extra point. It's up and it's no good to the right.
39-15, Franklin Warriors out in front.
And as we said earlier, Michael, we've come in here many times expecting some great games, and Franklin seems to find a way to disillusion us because they just overpower everybody in the critical big-time games. Super job by Charlie Weiss and the coaching staff. Franklin just doing an outstanding job in light of coming back from an upset loss to Morristown just a week ago.
Especially the defense has really rebounded after that tough loss to Morristown. Offense came out firing. We've seen a lot of different numbers. Wade has scored. Solomon has scored. Jenkins, Frederick. Really spread out the scoring here today.
It really has, and that's been Franklin's all year long. You know, you take a look at the Somerset County scoring leaders, and you see Frederick, you see Jenkins, you see Solomon, and sneaking in down the bottom, I think Blair Wilson's got in there now with a couple touchdown receptions this year.
Well, I believe Chris Lockett Watson as the leader. It was going to be close after the time that Jeff Frederick and Mark Jenkins are right on his heel. I believe that's 84. Chris Jammy.
5-0. Ricky Sports, laid him out. Along with 44, Rodney Blum. I'll tell you what, that was 94, 50-44, because they were together when they made the hit.
Take a look at it again on replay.
We'll take a look at it one more time.
From the end zone camera. Oh, hello. 4:40 to go. Fourth and final period.
Mike, Rodney Blum's had a great season on defense for Franklin. What a tough-nosed kid. Boy, he can really stick it.
This is a difficult time for Ocean at this point in the contest. You know, I'd like to put some points up. Ross back under pressure. Launches one down the field for Frisch over his outstretched hands. Good defensive coverage by Wilson, and Jenkins again. As Jenkins waves to one of the cameras in the end zone.
Well, you can't blame him for feeling good. Jenkins played last year in the Mattawan loss. They really wanted to come back this year and get the championship in his senior year. He's had an outstanding season.
On the bench, I believe that's Jeff Frederick, number 4.
Well, I don't think we've seen Frederick since that time he went down with that one injury. That's the trainer, Christine Lynn, with him. No, that's not Frederick.
Bring up a second down.
Joe Bradwell, 68.
Spartans to the air. Intended.
Gruasso, and he couldn't hold on to it.
For 24, Gruasso. Covered there by number 1, Blair Wilson. And down on the field, the cheerleaders really whooping it up.
And of course, Ocean's going to throw the ball every down right now, and so that clock's going to stop on every incomplete. In the next 4 minutes and 12 seconds, we'll see more like 40 minutes and 12 seconds, I'm sure. And I wouldn't be surprised if Franklin goes back on the O. We don't see Louis Solomon back. Charlie Weiss may want to see if he can do that, number 29.
Louis certainly having an outstanding season. Cheerleaders now, you see our ground level camera, Franklin Warrior cheerleaders, the Grace Bigwood. Ross back, under pressure, flush from the pocket, gets away from 79 Dave Sanders, who trips him up.
But not before he can make the first down, and so it'll bring up a 4th down and about a long 3. And I suspect Ocean will not kick this ball away. They will try to make the first. And Chris Boyd is out there encouraging his team not to give up the yardage here.
They send Frisch wide left. Franklin's fans cheering on their team. Screen has been effective for them. I wonder what we'll see here. They go with the reverse, and it's going to be close.
Oh, I don't think he was down. He pushed the ball out at the end when he hit the girth, but I don't think he made the first down. Franklin takes over 1st and 10. And Louis Solomon does re-enter the game for Franklin with 3:26 to go. Fans in the stands are cheering, come on, Louis. They want to see that 29.
They want to see 29. Record. That's a record that stood for a long time.
It sure has. Solomon takes it 1st and 10. Franklin at about the 45-yard line.
Sutherland at the bottom of the screen. However, hand off to number 3, Chris Boyd, who doesn't pick up much, maybe a yard.
Number 8, Tony Mazzarello, goes in for Franklin. Solomon will come out. Mazzarello will replace Solomon at quarterback. And so Louis Solomon, the junior, outstanding quarterback, gets a big hand from the fans here. Coming off the field with number 3, Chris Boyd, and tri-captain, number 2, Courtney Sutherland. As Franklin starts to make the change and players get some of the other people into the championship final. Look at this.
One, Blair Wilson.
Blair Wilson on a tear off the right side, picks up the first down, gets out of bounds, stops the clock with 2:19. Actually, no, the officials say keep it running, and they do. We'll try and get some names here for you. There have been some changes. 18 is Jerry Miller. Number 5, Mark Jenkins, is still in the game, but he's been replaced by number 20. That's Bryant.
Mark Jenkins coming off the senior tri-captain.
Number 1, Blair Wilson, still in. 4, Jeff Frederick, still in. And as we said, Tony Mazzarello is at the quarterback position.
With 1:54 to go, Mazzarello will take the snap. Hands off to number 20, Doug Bryant.
We should point out that Tony Mazzarello is the son of Frank Mazzarello, the Maz, who was a basketball player here at Franklin High School, and a good one. He's over with the Immaculata system for a while in basketball.
Girls basketball did an outstanding job, had some championship seasons there. Former captain of the baseball team here about 1965, played for George Ackerman, who this field is named after.
That's exactly right.
Was a second baseman, and a pretty good one. Had good hands.
Well, Frank's got to be proud to see his son playing here at Franklin, and that tells you how old you are, Pulowski.
I used to come and watch Mazzarello as the little kid. And Mazzarello on the field, hands off.
Clock running down. Almost a minute to go. Oops. Stopped at 1:05 on the fumble. Ocean takes over.
As a cold wind blows in here. Less than a minute to play. 52 seconds. 33-15 to score. Franklin going on to win its second Group 3 title in 3 years. Runner-up last year. Prospect setting a screen, goes to Esposito. Esposito with blockers in front. Esposito into the open field. Saving tackle there by number 1, Blair Wilson.
And the clock runs down. Let's take that 30-second timeout. We've got moving the sticks. Franklin changing wholesale on defense right now. Ocean looking at their last probably offensive play, 19 seconds to go. Clock's running down. And I think head coach Charlie Weiss is about to get the big dump because I can see
the
Rodney
big bucket on the sideline.
Yeah, they're getting up behind
as
him.
they pass for Frisch, knocked out of his hands, and yes, on the sideline.
Charlie Weiss has just gotten the
bucket. The New York Giants whitewash.
Boy, that's got to be cold.
Oh,
incredibly cold.
Charlie may pay for this championship with pneumonia.
Oh.
When he's really going to start to feel that is when he has to give those post-game interviews.
Charlie's going to lead the rush back to the script.
Oh, and the other coach is started. Joe Stinson on the sideline gets the bat. Out on the field.
There's more action on the sideline right now.
Ocean, the shotgun snap to Ross Beck, who throws it down, and it's intercepted on the last play by number 1, Blair Wilson, and with 0 showing on the clock, the Franklin Warriors go on to win the Central Jersey Group 3 championship, defeating Ocean 39-15. And Bob, it was all Franklin after that first period.
It certainly was, and I think the real key factor in this game was the Franklin defense, Michael. They created so many opportunities for the offense. Louis Solomon showing just how versatile an offense can be. They did what they had to do. If they couldn't get the pass, they take the run. Outstanding game all around. Ocean, I think, just really overmatched in this game. Clearly they had a difficult time in getting their offense generated. I don't think that they came up with probably more than 70 yards total offense in the game.
Well, really, for Ocean, the story of their offense was a big play offense. They had a couple of big plays. They had the 2 big pass plays to Frisch. Other than that, they really had no consistency. The Franklin defense completely stifled them throughout the contest. On offense, Louis Solomon had a good day, but the scoring was spread around. It was kind of a day when everybody got their shot. Chris Boyd did extremely well running the ball. Mark Jenkins had some big plays. Wilson had some big plays. Frederick. I don't think I've left everybody out. It's been a total team effort, a team that was well coached. Charlie Weiss and his crew putting together a fine offensive and defensive plan for the contest.
Yeah, you got to give Weiss credit. You got to give Stinson credit. They brought a whole new system in here. Tough shoes to fill following Lenny Rivers. Pardon me, my tongue is frozen at this stage of the game. Kids adapted to the new system. It seems to suit the talent that they had well. The Spurs just had an outstanding year. And what can you say? It's just been one of those outstanding situations where Franklin once again finds themselves with a 10-1 record back-to-back seasons. This time, though, they bring home the crown.
Of course, we talked about the receivers and the running backs, but Franklin's offensive defensive line, also outstanding efforts. Whitaker, Sanders, Parker, Schwartz, Platt, Yanella. Yeah, it's been a total team effort, a team that really pulled together after that tough upset from Morristown, and they go on to win the Central Jersey Group 3 title. Any closing comments, Bob?
No, it's just been a pleasure to be back to work with you again. I'm sorry Lenny couldn't be here today. I'm sorry he missed that. But once again, Michael, thanks for the opportunity in UNC Tech to get together one more time.
Always a pleasure, Bob. Okay, that's the story here from Franklin Township High School. The Franklin Warriors win the state championship. I'm Mike Pulowski, along for Bob Pearson, my spotter Matt Pulowski, Brian LePay, our director, and the C-Tech High School sports crew braving the cold elements here. And that'll do it for today. Until next time, take care and God bless. Goodbye, everybody.
verdict is not ours to decide, Dingaan.
I am the king's brother. In the name of my ancestor, I order you to kill him now!
Yes, Dinga, you are his brother, but also his heir. Masam.
You have destroyed the evidence, Dingaan, but not your guilt. I wonder what he could have told us about you, Mhlangana and Boka. You are a fool, Dingaan. If you truly wanted to rule in this place, you should have planned Shaka's death the way Shaka would have planned it, using a valid strategy. He's built a nation of warriors. Would you have the people believe that Enumfasuba would ever turn his spear against his own emperor?
It is the work of destiny. As a man lives, so shall he die.
You remember that, Dingaan? Remember that. Indoda nami ifuna ukwazi ukuthi ungayisiza yini njengoba sizale ngintombazane.
She asks, can you save him? Can you give him life? Like you did to that girl?
She was in a coma. She would have recovered by herself if they hadn't tried to bury her. Mick. Will you tell him?
You know you'll never understand that. He can relate only to light and darkness. He feels the darkness approaching and he wants you to give him back the light.
You're washing your hands of the whole thing. Why not? I think it would be fair to say that you had it coming to him. Ooh, you think we deserve to die, do you? Do you? What? Listen to that mop out there, Finn.